Naiene with another video, and now we are with our week 4 related to perspective of our playlist about studying like FZD at home. Our main focus to this week will be about Blender, where we will talk about the project 2.0 and the project 2.1. So I'm assuming that you already watched the previous videos. I'm talking about the week 3, where our goal was to do the project 1, that this image over here. The week 2, where we learned how to draw ellipses, how to do the shadow projection, and also how to do the mirroring. And the week 1, where we talk about the line, calligraphy, 1, 2, and 3 vanishing point perspective. So I'm assuming that you already have all of these, like you already learned and you already practiced it. So now we can go and start talking about Blender. So right now you can see that this video is recorded in real time. As you can see, this is the YouTube version, and I hope this kind of videos will be helpful to you and also to me, because the goal of the YouTube version is to cover all the topics, but on a surface level, where I will not go further or deep in details, but I will explain all the things that I did. And like trying to edit this will consume me a lot of time, so I prefer to record these in real time. So if you want more, what can I say, detailed and well explained version, you can consider looking into my Patreon. We already have like this week over there. Let me see if I can find. So we already have the videos for this week on Patreon, so you can literally go there and see by yourself. So you can see that week 4 was posted 2 days ago in English, and in Portuguese was posted on 30th of March. So, and you have additional content over here that you can go and follow and learn from. So consider if this makes sense to you, you can join to my Patreon, and you will have access to all the content. You will have the access for the Portuguese content and also the English content by one subscription. So yeah, with that we can continue our video. So you can see over here that we have 2 points. The project 2.0 and the 2.1. So the 2.0 is this part over here, these images, and also this headphone. You can see that this headphone is this headphone, but with material applied. And the project 2.1 is this part over here on the far right. These images where we have like monitors, PC, and all the stuff. So the basic idea of this week is to learn the basics of Blender and model different objects, and also do like a more detailed version with an environment by your choice. So to turn your comprehension easier, I will start by doing an introduction to Blender. So we'll start by introducing to Blender, and then move to project 2.0 and then to project 2.1. Okay, so let's go to Blender. As a frame of reference, the Patreon version of this video has 4.5 hours. My goal with this video is to maybe put on 3 hours or 3.5, like summarizing the thing. Yeah, I hope I will be able to do that. So let me go to Blender. So I'm opening Blender. This is a project that I already created. So let me close this and open my Blender. by first time, so you will be able to see what or how Blender behaves when you open the first time. So here will appear the recent files. So if you are new to Blender, you will not have recent files, but you can see that when you click over here, you see like the preview and stuff. Even now, I'm already working on the week 6. Yeah, this is week 6 content. So yeah, you can see that this is a video for week 4, but I'm already working on week 6. And here you can create like new projects, like general projects, animation, sculpting. You can open a recent file, but I will click on any space over here, and you can see that we have a camera, and we have a cube, and we have a light. So to select things, you can just click and just drag your mouse over and just delete. Nice. So this scenario is the same scenario that I have on my other file that I already created. So I will just go here and open a recent file and go to demo2, that is don't save the file that I was using. So this is another thing that I was doing on this specific file. So let me explain the basics of Blender. So to make this easier to you to understand, let me enable the keys. So now you'll be able to see what I'm clicking. So if I click mousepad 2, mousepad 1, and all the stuff. Oh god, what I did. Okay, anything. Anyway, so let's move this to the right. Okay, the first thing that I want you to know or to notice is that we have a quote-unquote window over here that represents our viewport. It's a window where we can use to see the world or the 3D world over here, like the 3D environment. So it's just a window placed somewhere on the environment that we can see a part of that environment depending on the point that we are. Okay, nice. On the viewport, you can see that we have like, how can I say, different modes to view the world. We will talk this later. And you can see that here we have like the axis. So let's start by talking about like this axis. If you pay attention, we have like, let me choose one view. We have like this is the the Z and the X axis. For those who are following the playlist, you remember that I think that was on week 2, I covered a topic related to the XYZ coordinate system, where I was talking about the X axis, the Y, the Z axis, and how we can put these on a 3D environment, and also talking about the planes like the XY plane, the XZ plane, the YZ plane, and how we can have like a 3-dimensional plane. So the things that I was talking about here wasn't just for talking. I wanted to create a pathing to go to Blender and understand how the thing works. You can see that the unique thing that is different is that over here my y-axis was red and the x was green. So on Blender, the configuration that I'm using, the x, like the default configuration, the x is red and the y is, I'm gonna say, green. So it's basically the same logic, the colors are changed. Okay, so to move your camera around using the axis, you can just come here and like click and move your mouse. So you will be able to change the camera. You can zoom in or out over here, like you click on this icon and you can move your mouse forward and backwards to make zoom in out, or you can use like your scroll wheel to zoom in and out. You can like move the view by clicking on the hand over there. This is the camera, and okay, this is like the curvilinear perspective. So I normally don't use this. I use like the default setting. But for example, for use this with another key, you can use the middle button of the mouse, like this one over here. So my middle button doesn't function, so but you can use to move around your camera or your viewport. Okay, nice. Let me move again to here. Okay, nice. Another thing that we need to know is the outliner. You can see over here. You can see that here I have like cubes and all the stuff, and I have a collection created. So on the outliner, you'll be able to create collections and also like view your objects listed over here. So to create a collection, you can just right click over here and new collection, and this works like a folder on like a drawing software where you can group all the layers, like you put all the layers inside a folder. So the collection works the same way, and with the collection we can like add a object inside the environment and the object will appear over here. Okay, but we will see this later. After that, we have the property panel. So here you can like manage the properties of the objects, the render stuff, like all the properties we can change over here. So but we will go in deep after. The other thing that I want to show and explain over here on the viewport itself is that you remember that on this part about planes, when we don't have the Z plane, the Z axis, we have like the XY plane, and the same logic to the other ones. So over here the logic remains the same. So if I click on Z, I'm saying that this is a plane that exists when I'm not considering the Z. So this is the Y X plane. If I click on X, I'm saying that this is a plane that exists when I'm not considering X, is the Y Z plane. If I click on Y, this is a plane that exists when I'm not considering the Y. This is the XZ plane. So again, if you want to do the same thing without clicking over here, you can basically use a shortcut is numpad 1. So numpad 1, you can see that is the Y. So Y like the X, so the XZ plane. If I go to numpad 3, this is the Y Z plane. If I go to numpad 7, this is the YZ plane. And if you use like 4, you will change a little bit, like you turn this. If you use 2, you will move this. Also, if you use 9, you will move this. So if we go to numpad 7, again you can do this. Numpad 9 also works. But for example, if you want to go out of this view, you can just hit 5. So 5 will like make you go out of that orthographic views and go to a normal view based on the last reference. Okay, but okay, if you want to do the same thing but on the opposite side, so for example, if you want to, rather than having a front view on numpad 1, you want to have the same view but on the back view. So to do that, you can just go and use control numpad 1. So this is you can see that this is minus, so this is Y, and now numpad 1 is minus Y. So minus Y is numpad 1, control numpad 1 is Y. If I go to 3, numpad 3, you can see that is X. If I go to control numpad 3, is minus X. And the same thing for numpad 7 is Z. If I go to control numpad 7 is minus Z. But you can see that numpad 9, I think, do the same thing. Like numpad 9 and like numpad 7 is the top view, and numpad 9 is the bottom view. So we already have, like, you don't really need to do control 7 because we already have numpad 9. Okay, what's more? Okay, I think that we already covered like the basic stuff about the viewport. Over here you have this top bar where you have like options like file, save the file, import things. So yeah, this you will learn based on like using the software and stuff. Okay, so let's add an object inside our scene, like a mesh. So to add a mesh, you can go over here and go click in add and mesh, set add mesh, and we will add a cube. So let me delete this, or you can do Ctrl Z if you don't want. Ctrl Z is to go back, and Ctrl Shift Z is to like go forward. Let me delete this. If you want to use a shortcut to do this, you can use the Shift A to add. So Shift A, like A of add, a mesh, a cube. So you can use this shortcut, and if you go over here, and you can see that we have the shortcut over there explaining like Shift A. Okay, nice. So what I wanted to explain previously was the ways to view your viewport. Right now we are on the solid, so we are seeing the solid version of this mesh. If you go to the other mode, that is wireframe, you will see the wires of the object. If you go to this, is the material preview. This mode is where you will have like a preview of the material used, and the last one is the render mode, where you'll be able to render like the material that was applied. So to do that without going here, you can use a shortcut is Z. So you press Z and you can choose like solid, wireframe, material preview, render. So we'll put on solid. Nice, you already know this also. And again, related to the viewport, if you click on one thing on the on the outliner, you will click, if you click over here, this will select the object on the viewport. Talking about the properties, if we go to the, where is the object properties over here, if I move my object over here on the axis, you can see that basically this impacts directly the properties of the object inside the scene. Okay, talking about move, let's learn how to use like this kind of things like move, rotate and stuff, like move, rotate and scale on our viewport related to our object. You can see that now we are on the object mode, and for example, we have options over here. You have like select, we have the cursor. So okay, talking about this cursor, so this cursor is like a reference. You can place the cursor whatever you want. So if I put this cursor over here, when I add a new mesh, this mesh will use this cursor as my reference. Okay, you already placed like for example your cursor over there, and you want to put your cursor here again. To do that, you can use like, I think it's Shift Z. No, let me see, or S. Okay, Shift Shift S, and you can move here cursor to world origin. So we are moving our cursor to the origin of the world. So let's go again, Shift S, and you can see that the cursor is here again. Okay, nice. The select box, so if you select, we'll select the object here and also on the outliner. Okay, so now let's talk about these features, like these tools over here. So we have the move over here, so let's go and use the move. Let's pause this stuff. Oh God. Okay, so we have the move over here. So again, you can move like on the y-axis, sorry, the z-axis. You can move on the y-axis and also on the z-axis, and you can move like combining two axes at a time, so moving on a plane. So this is the z-plane, you can see. You can also move on the x-plane, and you can move on the y-plane, so you can do this kind of stuff. Let's put this again on the origin. So but okay, let's say that you don't want to use like the shortcut, you don't want to do this manually, you want to use a shortcut to do that. So to be able to do that, you can use the shortcut G. So if you hit G on the keyboard, you will be able to move your object on all the axes. You can see over here on the properties panel that the axes are changing the values. So G is to move on all the axes at the same time. Okay, if you want, for example, to move your object in just one axis, you will need to use G to go to the move mode and also choose like the plane that you want to move. And for example, X, so GX is moving the object on the X axis. Okay, let's go GY, we are moving the object on the Y axis. GZ, we are moving the object on the Z axis. But for example, if you want to move the object on a specific plane, so you can go and hit G, Shift, and then the plane name. So if you hit X, is the plane that exists when we don't use X, that is YZ plane. So let's go and okay, Shift X. So you can see that this, we are moving the object on this plane, and you can see over there that on the location of X on the properties over here, so that the X isn't moving because we are not considering X. And again, if you go to G, Shift, Y, we will do the same thing but on the Y axis, without using the Y axis and using the XZ plane. So yeah, you can do that. Okay, let's say that okay, you already know how to move the object and do the basic stuff, and now you want to rotate your object, and to do that you can go over here to rotate, and this works the same way that over here we have like we have this kind of gizmo over here, and the gizmo will just change to a rotational gizmo where the color of the arch represents the axis. So if we use the blue one, we are rotating on the Z axis. So the Z axis becomes the minor axis of this box or cube, and we can do the same thing with the Y axis, and we can do the same thing with the X axis. So let's do a Control Z over here, and okay, let's say that you want to do this without coming here and do manually. You can use a shortcut. You can do R on the keyboard. So if you hit R, this will rotate on all the axes. using the origin of the object as the reference. So you can see. So if you want to rotate on a specific axis, you can R in the axis, so RY, so the Y axis becomes the minor axis, RX, the X axis becomes the minor axis, and RZ, the Z axis becomes the minor axis. And you can do the same thing related to the plane. So R shift Z X, sorry, you are just rotating these on this specific plane, and the same logic you can apply to the other stuff. So let's rotate this on the Z plane, and I want to explain something. So rotate this, and you can see if you go again to move, this move, the gizmo isn't following the same behavior of the box. As you can see, it's following the behavior of the word, so it's following the directions of the word. So what I want to explain is that the orientation that we are using right now is the default orientation that uses the word coordinates as the reference. If you want to work with the coordinates or the orientation for this specific object, you will need to change here on the orientation to local. So if you go to local, you can see that now we are using the orientation of this box, this cube over here. We are no more using the orientation of the word itself. So, but I will put again on the default. It's just you to know this thing. Okay. After that, we have another thing to learn to do, is the scale option. So again, the scale works the same way. Okay, 2 seconds. So I was talking about scaling. So the idea of scaling is the same. So you can scale on a specific axis by using, for example, the X axis, you'll just scale on the X axis. If you go to the Y axis, you just scale on the Y axis, and if you go to the Z axis, we'll scale just on the Z axis. And you can see like the values changing over here on the scale part. And okay, let me just Ctrl Z. If you want to use the shortcut, you can go to S, and you'll scale on the same on all the axes at the same time. If you hit S and X, you just scale on the X axis. If you hit S and Y, you scale on the Y axis. And if you hit S and Z, you scale on the Z axis. And again, you can scale on a specific plane. So if you go to S, shift X, it would scale on this specific plane. S shift Y, you would scale on this specific plane. So again, we are using the same logic. And if you go over here, you can do like the same thing, scale on this plane, on this one, and also on this one. Always using the same logic. The other tool that you can use over here is the transform tool. That's basically you are using scale, rotate, and what can I say, and move at the same time. You can like move, you can rotate, you can scale at the same time. You also can use the shortcut T. I think, let me see, transform is T. I don't know, but anyway, I normally use like this, and it's working for me. This is the basic stuff about things that we can perform on top of the object. So we have another mode that we can use, is the edit mode. So on the edit mode, you can go over here and go to edit mode, and now you will be able to start looking to the object on a different way. So rather than looking to the object as an entire thing, you can look to the object on different ways. you can look to the object in terms of vertices. So you can see, let me use the wireframe over here. You can look to the object in terms of vertices. You can look to the object in terms of edges, and you can look to the object in terms of faces. And again, you can see that when I'm selecting this one and like this, I'm selecting these two faces because I'm using the Alt Z. So Alt Z, if I was using the normal stuff, if I select this face, I would just select this face and the other one would not be selected. But with Alt Z, we are basically enable the transparency mode, so we can see through the object. So this is the face stuff. Okay, and over here you can perform the same actions. So what we did over there, like if I select, for example, a vertex, and to switch to these modes, you can use, like for example, we are on the vertex. If you want to go to the face mode, you just hit 3 on your keyboard. I'm not talking about numpad 3. I'm talking about 3 on top of Q, W, and E. So 3 to the face mode, 2 to the edge mode, and 1 to the vertices mode. Okay, nice. So if you want to move this, you can go over here and also move this vertices. If you want to rotate, you can rotate these. Let me select 2 vertices, this one and this one. Rotate these. So again, you can perform like the same actions that we did previously over here. The unique thing that's new is that you can perform on specific stuff. So you can do the thing on a face, on an edge, like if you want to rotate these edges, if you want to rotate this face, so is a specific point. You can also scale, like scale this face, for example. You can see basically, so the same thing. What's next? We have another options over here. For example, we have this extrude stuff. So let me go again to the solid mode, and the extrude, what the extrude does is you are able to create like another geometry, like extrude a geometry based on a previous one. So you just created this stuff, and you can continue extruding it and extruding it whatever you want. Okay, nice. What's next? We have and when you are extruding, you can like use a shortcut E. So if you select a face, for example, and you hit E, you can extrude it, and you can do the same things. Like you can, for example, extrude on this specific plane. You can extrude, for example, here extruding X. So I'm extruding X. If I go extrude Y, I will extrude in Y. If I go extrude Z, I will extrude on the Z axis. You can see basically, but you can also just extrude this right here. I hit it like shift to make sure that this is following the correct axis. So yeah, it's basically that about extrusion. What's next? Let's go to, what is this? Insect. So what insect does is that you create another face inside a previous face. So you can create like this intersection over here, but if you want to use a shortcut, you can use I. So like I on the keyboard, you can insect a face, and inside this face you can insect another face, and again and again and again. And also you can combine this with the extrusion. So you can extrude this face, you can extrude this one, so you can do whatever you want. So this is about the intersection. You can also use another one. Let me extrude this and show the another one. This one is called bevel. So you can bevel, for example, a face. You can bevel a edge. I will bevel this edge. So what this will do is will create like a soft transition to this edge. So over here, this don't seem to be like a good application, but let's bevel this using our shortcut Ctrl B. So Ctrl B, we are using bevel, and if I rotate my scroll wheel up, I will start to create new cuts. So you can see that now this is more like softer comparing to that one. So we are creating a, like I say, a radius over here to the corner of, like, to this edge. So you can see, and you can see that we created cuts. So these cuts we can create manually here on this option over here, that is loop cuts. So what we can do is just create a loop cut. So you can see basically we are creating cuts based on this. So if you don't want to go here and click to loop cuts, you can just select object, go to edit mode, and use Ctrl R. So Ctrl R is to create the loop cut. And if you move your scroll wheel up, so let me go again, Ctrl R, and if I move my scroll wheel up, I will create new cuts. You can see basically. And right now I created this kind of cuts. So it's basically that about like the basic things to use. Okay, after that I want also to teach you to use like the modifiers. So what a modifier does is basically modify a mesh that we inserted on a mesh that we created. So let's show like the basic modifiers that we'll use to do the things on the project 2.0 and also on the project 2.1. So okay, let me move this a little bit. I think that here is fine. So let's go and start working on. So I will add a new mesh over here. I will add a cylinder. So Shift A, mesh, cylinder. Okay, we already have our mesh. And the first modifier that I want to show to you, so let me apply a little bit of that kind of things that we learned. So edit mode, hit 3 to work with faces, and then I can move this downwards, and I can start by extruding this. I can hit E, extrude, scale a little bit, then I can extrude again. I can insect this face, I can extrude. So let me, okay, I can scale this again, extrude, so insect this face, extrude. So I'm randomly doing this just to show to you that you can literally do whatever you want to achieve the result that you want also. So yeah, it's basically this kind of things. You can do the thing that you want. I'm just doing this because I want to show a little bit of other things that we can do over here. So okay, this is fine. So what I want to show to you is like the modifiers. So the first one that we will talk about is the mirror modifier. So to use the mirror modifier, you will go to this part over here and go to modifier, add modifier, go to generate, and then we have the mirror modifier. What these do is that this create a mirror version of this object based on the origin of this object. So basically the origin is this point. If I move my object to the left and I hit and I click on the object and I move this to set origin to 3D cursor, now my origin is over here, and I'm creating what can I say, a mirrored version on the x-axis. I can also do this, creating a mirrored version on the y-axis. Let me see if I can do it. Working. Okay. On the z-axis, I think. So let me move this. Okay, but anyway, So you can do this, but I will not use this of setting origin to 3D cursor. I will use an object as my reference. I will use this cube over here that we have. So object and then cube. So right now this cube is our reference, and I can create I'm mirroring this based on this cube. If I move this cube, you can see that the mirrored part will change the behave, and I can also mirror this to the downwards and move upwards. So this is the mirror modifier. So if you want to apply the mirror, you can go here and apply. So when you apply, this becomes one object, and you will not need more this reference point, but I will not apply. Let me duplicate this. To duplicate, you hit like Shift D and click, and you will be able to do this. So I will remove this modifier, and I will go back to my mesh over here. I want to show another modifier. I will generate array modifier. So this is another modifier that creates an array of the same object. So if I increase the number, you will see that I'm literally just creating an array of these objects. I can change here the spacing between. I can change like on the axis that I want. You can see basically what these do. You can see. So yeah, this is the array modifier. Nice. And to apply is the same thing. If I apply this, all of these became just one thing. You know, I will not apply, just for teaching purposes. And I will talk about the last one, like the modifiers that I think that are important, is the boolean. So let me move this to the left, and I will add a new mesh. Shift A, mesh cube, and I want to show the boolean modifier. So let me just do this and go to this specific point. I want to zoom in a little bit more. Okay, let me duplicate this, and so Shift D, and we already duplicate. I will scale this, and what the boolean modifier do is that if you want, for example, to create the shape of this object inside this other object. So this is the object that I want to apply the boolean, so I will add the boolean modifier. What is boolean? And then I can select the object. So right now I already created a boolean of this object inside this object. So if I go to this object and I hide it, you can see that I created a boolean inside this object based on the shape of the other object. If, for example, I move this object, you can see that the boolean will not work again. Will no more work. I need to place the object and then apply the boolean, and then if I move this object, the boolean will stay there without needing to use this object again. So I already applied the boolean. So you can do the boolean with different objects. So let me use a cylinder. So I will scale this and move a little bit downwards. So again, select, generate boolean, and then select the object to apply the boolean, and also apply the boolean, and you can basically see the boolean was applied over here. So, and the other part that I created here is also working. So now we apply the boolean to this object. Nice. So let me talk about another modifier that's important. Is the subdivision surface modifier. So I will take this and I will move to here, and I will remove the array modifier. So let's go to this object. Okay. Again, I need to do the same thing, like what is over here. Let me zoom in. 3, zoom in, move, and okay, now we have. So we will talk about the subdivision surface modifier. So to use the subdivision surface modifier, you can go add modifier and generate and subdivision surface modifier. So what this creates quote unquote softer polygons on your mesh. So yeah, as you can see, and you can increase the level of the subdivision. So the 0 subdivisions is basically your raw mesh, and if you increase the level, you are creating more subdivisions on your mesh. So yep, but this impacts directly on the performance. So if you, I normally use 1 or 2 levels. So if you put like 2 over here and you want to render 2, you need also to put 2 on the render. So if you put, for example, 5 over here, but you didn't put 5 on the render version, the render will be this will render on 2, not on 5. So just pay attention on this kind of stuff. If you don't want to go over here and click, you can use a shortcut. It's Control. You press Control and the number of levels that you want. So for example, Control 1 is a subdivision with 1 level. Control 2 is subdivision with 2 levels. So this is important. You can also shade this smooth. So it's like a smooth shading to the mesh. Anyway, another stuff that I want to talk is related to the loops, the loop cuts that I explained previously, like the Control R stuff. So if you hit like Control R, you can create like cuts, like a loop cut over here. So for example, let's say you want to select a loop. So if you use like Alt and Shift and you hit, for example, here, you select this loop of of faces, because we are on the face selection. If I go and use the edge version, if I use Shift Alt and select this edge, I will select this loop of edges. And again, I can use the bevel over here, like hitting Control B, and you can see that I can increase the number of loop cuts, and I can apply my bevel over here. So I can do the same thing downwards. So Shift Alt Shift, select this, Control B, and I can do the bevel again. So this is a thing that you can do. So now we made this more smooth comparing to the previous one. Another stuff that you can do, let me go again to the face mode and select this. So Control Shift, select this loop, and I want, for example, to insect these faces. Let me insect a little bit, and I want to, for example, extrude this inward. So if I hit E, you can see that this isn't extruding the way that I want. So to do that, I need to extrude this along normal. So right click and go extrude faces along normals. So this way I'm able to extrude this more accurately using the normal of the plane. So as you can see, basically that. And you can also select this loop, this edge loop over here. So Alt Shift and this, we select this edge loop over here. So if we had like a connection to this point to the other point over there, the idea was to this go again and the other stuff. So continue talking about the subdivision surface modifier. Let me go to this cube and apply the subdivision surface modifier because I want to show a specific thing. So Control 2, and you can see that this becomes a sphere because we subdivided this mesh. So if I hit Tab, you can see that okay, we have like the basic box. And if I created cuts over here, like Control R, I can start shaping this mesh. So the things that I'm doing on the base mesh, will impact the subdivided mesh. So now we have this kind of behave. For example, if I select 2, 3, and I insert a face over here, for example, and I just extrude this upwards, I can create like cuts to make these behave the way that I want. You can see basically is basically that. So yeah, the subdivision surface works like this. So yeah, I think that we have all for the introduction part. Maybe another thing that I need to explain is you can use more than one area to work. So to do that, let me join areas. So you go to this corner over here and you just move this, and now we have 2 points to see. You can on this one use like our orthographic view, and over here use a 3D view. So let me, if you want to join the areas, you just click over here with the right click and join areas, and you select, yeah, I want to move this to this side. So we I think that was the wrong area, but anyway, you already got the idea. So yeah, we have like the introduction part to Blender. So right now we can literally move to start talking about the things that I learned on the project 2.0 related to this kind of stuff, and then we'll move to the project 2.1 related to this kind of stuff. So I hope you got the basic idea of Blender, but in advance I want to say that I learned all of this stuff that I'm teaching you based on a YouTube channel. Let me go and I learned all of this based on a YouTube channel, this guy over here. So he has like this kind of playlist where he was explaining each individual part, like learning how to interact with Blender, doing basic stuff like using like the modifiers, all the stuff, modeling basic stuff. So all of the things that I'm talking about on this introduction part are based on this guy channel content. So if you want to learn this on a more, what can I say, interesting way and well explained, you can go to this guy channel, bro. Yeah, other level content. So yeah, consider going there and see by yourself and learn by yourself. But you have like here the introduction part, and we can start talking about the things that we need to talk about. So let's advance to the following part related to the project 2.0. So now I will use like the recording that I have, and I will explain all the things that we had first to this project, the 2.0. So let me go and find where I saved. Okay. So I was listening to a song, but anyway, I muted this. Nice. So basically the project 2.0, my idea was to like model 20 objects. So I on the beginning stages, I was like doing the thing without knowing the rules. You can also see that this video has like 4 hours and 41 minutes. It's like 5 hours. And the first object that I was modeling was a stove. So you can see that I added a mesh inside the scene, and then I created cuts. So I will I'm gonna say speed this a little, like increase the speed. So let me I created cuts using the shortcut Ctrl R. So my goal here is to explain this on a more straightforward way. So I created cuts over there. I selected this face, like the top face, and I inserted it, as you can see. And then after inserting this face, I extruded this like downwards, as you can see also. After that, I separated this piece, and now I want to work just with this face. And then after separating, I adjusted it on the space, and then I created another intersection. And my idea here was to create cuts, so I'll be able to start mapping the stove burner region where I will place it. So created cuts. After that, I selected these four faces. I went to loop tools and then cycle. So with this cycle, I basically wanted to create like a idea of a cycle, and after that I scaled it, and then I extruded this face downwards. So this way I was able to create this kind of behave. But the thing wasn't working the way that I wanted, so I decided to start working on another stuff. You can see that I selected like the cube, this out, like the main cube. I applied the subdivision surface modifier, and then I started creating cuts over here just to follow the shape that I wanted. And then I went back to this piece, and I also applied the subdivision surface modifier. So you can see over here that I applied, and the idea was also to create new cuts. After that, I was able to do the thing that I wanted. So the idea was to extrude this downwards and make the adjustment. So you can see that now I have like that kind of region to place the stove burner. So after that was like just making adjustments, and then I started adjusting the main cube. So after that, the idea was to start modeling the stove burner itself. So as you can see, now not the stove burner, is like the base, or the, what can I say, when on the stoves we have like some kind of base, like a metallic base that we put like our pan, for example, yeah, the pan on top of it, or a fridge. So yeah, it's basically that base. I was modeling it. I used the cube, I extruded it. So the idea over here was to go towards the shape that I wanted. After that, I applied the subdivision surface modifier, as you can see, and I tried to create cuts to go towards the result that I wanted, but the thing wasn't working. So what I did was I deleted it and I started doing it again, and now you can see that I already have the base that I wanted. So after that, my idea was to take this and position on the area that I wanted to put it. So as you can see, I started moving it around, placing the thing on like the point that I wanted. So my idea over here was to use the mirror modifier, but at this time I wasn't able to perform like the actions to make my mirror modifier work properly. So I waste a little bit of time over here, like trying to figure out how to use the mirror. As a frame of reference, I just learned it to, what can I say, to use Blender properly after doing, I think was 5 models, I think, and then I decided to learn. So you can see that over here I was using the mirror, but the thing wasn't working the way that I wanted. So after that I just decided to do another stuff. The idea was to start modeling the stove burner. As you can see, I added a cylinder, and then I used the subdivision surface modifier. After that, I used the bevel tool by using Control B, edit mode, Control B, and then just moving the mouse around, so as you can see. And after that, I inserted this top face, and I just changed the scale of this object on the z-axis and also on the other axis. So the next step was to position this on the place that I wanted. And okay, I did some adjustments. After that, I placed it here. The idea was just to like extrude this face downwards to create the behavior that I wanted. As you can see, extrude and scale. After that, I went back to this mesh, and now you can see the mirror is working properly because I used this cylinder on the middle over here as my reference. Okay, so I rotated it in the position, and now we have like that kind of base stuff. So after that, I added another cylinder. I did the same thing, and I was adding more details to the stove burner. So I will just skip this a little bit because it's just doing the same thing. You can see over here, the idea is to extrude this downwards, like inserting the face, then extrude. So basically you can get what I was doing. After that, I decided to go to the base mesh and starting to add details. So I was using references to do this. Let me see if I can find my reference. Let me just continue playing this and search the reference. So load the recent objects, save this. So I was using reference to do this. So this stove is like this kind of stove that I was seeing. So my idea was to try to do like this kind of detail over here, but yeah, the thing wasn't working properly. So I always use references to do your stuff. So I was trying to do that kind of detail over here. So I literally spent a little bit over here, like just trying to do the stuff, but the thing wasn't working. So what I did was, okay, bro, this isn't working, and I moved it to start like making the interface on the front part. So you can see. So after that, I started modeling like the front interface, like doing all that kind of interactive things. So on the top, on the front panel of the like where you like I can say, yeah, things to interact, like if you want to adjust the fire and all the stuff. For basically, I'm trying to find a better word to explain, but yeah, I'm not finding. So as you can see, so after that, I did it like this kind of circular thing to use over there. So to rotate, so I was just doing this again and again. So these are more like linear stuff, so I will just skip it. Okay, as you can see, just adding the details and all the stuff. So yeah, I think over here I just named this collection. This is in Portuguese. So my idea was to start modeling the second object. So my second object was again a stove, but this time the idea was to do an electric one. So as you can see, we have like our base cube, and then I applied the subdivision surface modifier. I created cuts to go towards the shape that I wanted. Nice. So after that, the idea was to start modeling the stove burner. It's, I think, no, the interface yeah, stuff for the front panel. So you have this one. I use it the same logic for like the previous stuff that I was doing, like just inserting the face, and then like, yeah, doing this and extruding. But as you can see, I was using a cube to do that. So after that, you can see that I just deleted all the things and I added a cylinder, because with a cylinder it was easier to perform the same thing. So just applying the subdivision surface modifier, doing the bevel, selecting the face that I wanted, just scaling it and inserting the face. So this way I was able to do the thing that I wanted quickly. So yeah, in a more efficient way. So I spent a little bit of time over there just refining it, as you can see. After that, I joined these two, I think. Let me see. So yeah, I joined it. So as you can see, you just select the two things, you just right click and you go to join, or Ctrl J. So this way we made these two meshes become one, and this way we can apply the mirror modifier. So as you can see, we have the mirror modifier. What is okay, anyway, so but the idea is to apply the mirror modifier over there. After that, the idea was to start modeling the LEDs, so the LED structure, because with this kind of stoves you are able to literally go to certain levels, and on a specific level the LED turns on. So it's basically that. After that, I moved to start modeling the stove burner itself, like the electric stove burner. So yeah, as you can see, just doing the same thing. Over here, I tried to do that kind of extrude stuff, but I decided just to duplicate this. And to duplicate, you already know that is using Shift D, and you can perform the actions that you want. I also joined these two, and I just did like the mirror stuff. So with that, we already have our second object, electric stove. So let's speed this a little bit up. My next step was to model a fridge. Let me see if this is the correct way to pronounce it. No, wrong translator. So the wrong way. It's a pen. Oh god. So I started modeling a pen, bro. On my head, like this kind of thing is like a fridge, but anyway, bro. I started modeling a pen. So come on. Okay. I started modeling a pen. So to basically we used a cylinder, and then I extruded these inwards, as you can see on the background. So I will speed this a little bit up. It's a straightforward situation. So I added a cube, applied the subdivision surface modifier, and then I started shaping it based on my my reference, like moving the edges and all the stuff. And I also did the handle stuff. So yeah, basically just combining simple stuff to do this kind of thing. So yeah, over here I was just chilling, trying to understand how to literally use these tools to do the thing that I want. So as you can see, nothing to explain over here. It's just using the basic stuff. So after that, I moved to start modeling a record player. I think this is the correct way to say. Let me see. Okay, yeah, record player. So I'm using the translator just to make sure that I'm using the correct pronunciation. So to the record player, the first thing that I did was to add a cube inside my scene. After that, I applied the subdivision surface modifier, and I started creating cuts to go towards the thing that I was seeing on my reference. After that, I added a cylinder to start modeling the base of like the place where we will place like the disc or the record itself. And then I started modeling the details that I was seeing on the reference. So as you can see, I was using the same logic that I was using to do the stove burner, like just do the bevel, scale on the z-axis, then insert the face, and then extrude downwards. So basically that. After that, my idea was to start modeling the structure that we have on the middle of this cylindrical stuff. So to do that, I just added another cylinder and I scaled it and I placed it on the middle. So, and I applied the subdivision surface modifier to it. After that, you can see that I started modeling another details. This is the base to the arm. So I think that was the arm. So let me translate. Yeah, so this is the articulated arm. So the articulated arm to put on top of like the record itself. So let me skip this a little bit up. As you can see, I was just modeling this kind of arm. I think that you are getting what I was doing, and I'm not trying to model this on like the perfect details and all the stuff. I'm just using basic shapes to go towards that result, like primitive stuff. So after that, I started modeling. I think this was the front panel stuff, like the buttons and all this stuff. So yeah, it was the front panel. Over here, I think that I will use the array modifier to this. So let's skip this and place. So you can see that over here I was using like that kind of same logic. I have these kind of details, and you can see that I used the array modifier because I wanted just to have like the same pattern. And after that, I started modeling the support, like the base. I call these legs basically, but yeah, the legs of the record player. And then I started modeling the back part, like the axis to close it and open it, to move the cover of the object. Talking about the cover, I started like placing it just using a cube, and then I deleted this face on the bottom part, and yeah, we have basically our record player. Over here I was just adding details, things that nobody would see but was there. Okay, as you can see, right now we already have 4 things that I already modeled, so I decided to model another one. So this was a toaster. So in Portuguese, the way that we say toaster is different for the kind of toaster that you are using. So for like that kind of horizontal toaster, we call like tostadeira, and if the toaster is vertical, we call it toradeira. So for me, it's a little bit hard to differentiate in English. So I will call it like horizontal toaster and vertical toaster. So this time I was modeling a horizontal toaster. So my idea over here was to based on the reference that I was using. So the reference is this one. So based on this reference, to achieve this kind of behave that we have over here, I decided to like start working with the edges, vertices, to achieve the result that I wanted. So as you can see, I spent a lot of time figuring out how to do the thing, creating new cards and doing like tiny adjustments to go towards this result. I know that maybe you can do this on a more easier way, but I was learning and I was enjoying doing this. Even it seems like it's a not fun thing to do, but yeah, I was enjoying it. So as you can see, again, just using the subdivision surface modifier, creating cards and all the stuff. So I spent my time over there, I made the adjustments, and after that I moved it to start modeling the next part that was like this kind of top part. So I added a cube and then I scaled it and I placed it on the place that I wanted. And with that I applied also the subdivision surface modifier, and now I wanted to model this kind of pattern that we have over here. So I used like the same cube and I just scaled it and I shaped the way that I wanted, and I also used the array modifier. So as you can see on the recording, after that I started modeling the axis, like the rotational axis to the cover of the what can I say, the toaster. Yep, was basically this. So after that I decided to start modeling the cover itself by using a cube and creating cards. So I was using as a base my reference. So I wasn't trying to invent something. So I spent my time over here trying to do it, but at this time I was like, this isn't working the way that I want. So I decided to delete it and do again. So as you can see, I created cards again, and now I decided just to use this and to do the things separately. So I decided to do the what can I say, the middle part, and then do the two parts like in a separate way. So over here I was trying to do the detail of like this curved region. So I learned to do it by using a bezel curve as my reference, but on this specific file the thing wasn't working. I literally tried to do like the same thing that I was doing on a new file on this specific file, and doing the bezel wasn't working. So I spent you can see it's like half hour over here trying to figure out how to do the thing, doing again and again, redoing, deleting. So yeah, I spent time a good amount of time over here trying to fix this problem, but I wasn't seeing the what I was doing wrong. So after a lot of time spent over here, I literally decided to, what can I say, to try to do it myself. But until that point I was just doing it again and again and again, and you can see that I didn't try just one time. It was I think like 5. Even this one, bro, is another time just trying to do it, placing the bezel curve over there and doing and redoing. So let me go to the another recording. So you can see this was like near to 5 hours. So let me go to the following one. So okay, nice. So as you can see, at this moment I lost my save. So you can see that we don't have like the, what can I say, the toaster over here. I had to do it again because I lost my save. This recording has like 6 hours. So I had to do the toaster again, so I will just skip this part because I was just doing the same thing that I did previously. The unique thing that changed was on that specific part that I was doing like that kind of curved handle. So again, doing the same thing, the axis to rotate, placing the thing over there, and I decided to go towards the cover. So you can see that I started like doing the same logic that I was doing over there, but this time I also tried, as you can see, I tried again to use the bezel curve, but the thing wasn't working. I spent time over here doing the thing again and again and again and again. Yeah, you can see that I tried it again because it wasn't. I think that the thing was working on another file, but on this specific file the thing wasn't working. I was, no way, I'm not doing a thing wrong. So I was like, okay bro, let me do this by myself. As you can see, yeah, I just decided to do it by myself. I just placed the thing, and yeah, I decided to go to a more blocky stuff, and yeah, as you can see, we have this kind of final result. Where is, so yeah, we have this kind of final result, and yeah, for me it was fine. So I decided to go straight forward and continue doing the other stuff like creating details. So I will not go deep on this part because it's just placing the thing on the place that you want. So yeah, it's kind of a boring stuff to do, so we can skip it, but you have like a basic idea of what I was doing. Over here I just placed this, nothing else. So just spend time over here also editing the things, and I started just doing the front interface stuff, LED stuff, interface stuff, and I moved this horizontal toaster towards the place that I wanted. So after that I decided to do the vertical one. So this vertical toaster was the point where I literally felt that, bro, was the point where I realized that I know nothing about Blender. So this was the point where I decided to learn like the basics by myself, because I literally spent a considerable amount of time over here trying to do this specific model, because as you can see, I tried to do the subdivision surface modifier. I was deleting, doing something, redoing, creating cuts, working with edges, with vertices, with faces. Bro, I was doing all the stuff. I tried to do it on different ways, but all the ways wasn't working. I tried to delete the vertices, but when I tried to apply the subdivision surface modifier, the thing wasn't working. I was like, no way, I need to do this thing. So basically, to solve this problem, what I needed to do is to like do this on separate, like using a cube to this part and another cube to this part. But I was trying to do it with one cube, but I managed to do it, but not the way that I wanted. So basically we have like the basic structure. Over here I wanted to do this top part. My idea was to use boolean over here, because if I try to use boolean, this will be easier. But anyway, we have like this kind of result to the toaster, the vertical one. So just doing the front panel interface, and yeah, just adding the details using the same logic as the previous one. So let's keep this a little bit. So yeah, it's 1 hour over here just adding these details. Yeah, you can see that I'm basically doing the same thing again and again and again and again, but to a different thing. So if you already know like the basics, doing the other thing is just a matter of time and creativity, or just using your reference, and yeah, taking consideration that I was learning over here. So yeah, the models aren't that good. So after that, my idea was to start modeling the base, like making the legs and all the stuff. So yeah, I started to create cuts on the bottom part and also try to extrude it downwards. So but this thing wasn't working the way that I wanted, so I just deleted all of it, and I decided to do it again, and also using like this kind of cube and apply the mirror modifier. So this way I was able to do the thing that I wanted perfectly. So yeah, with that we have this how can I say, toaster ready. So after that I decided to learn like the basics of Blender. So like I already explained it on like the previous part, like the introduction part, we have like this channel where I learned like the basics. So over here I was following the tutorials of this guy, so like learning how to model basic stuff on Blender and yeah, all of this stuff. So I was learning the basics, and you will have access to this link on the video description, so you will be able to go there and learn all of these with on a more interesting way, rather than just seeing like a time lapse of this. So I will just explain what I was doing on this week, because the purpose of this playlist is just to show what I was doing on each week, and maybe help you learning to do it, and also having like a goal to achieve. So yeah, let's go. So my idea over here was following the tutorials, and I was just following what the guy was explaining. So the first thing that I did was to add a cube, a cylinder inside the scene, and you can see over here that we have like 32 vertices, and on this cap fill type the idea was to switch this to triangle fan. So let me see. So triangle fan, nice. So what triangle fan does is that makes a common point, like create a common vertex that all the edges will connect to. So over here my idea was just to do this borrow. So the triangle fan create this, so we have like one vertex over here, and all the vertices over here are going towards this one. So it's basically that. What I was trying to, so alarm stuff, okay, sorry for the alarm. Oh god. So what I was doing over here was trying to extrude this object and follow like the shape of these borrow. So the idea was just to extrude and scale. So but as you can see over here, let me see, you can see this kind of cycle that we have. So this cycle was I don't know how to explain. This cycle was, what can I say? Yeah, I'm trying to find the correct way to explain this, but this cycle was creating an influence on the way that I was, what can I say, more like scaling these, because I just wanted to, for example, let me find an example over here. Let me see. Yeah, okay, this is a good example. So over here I wanted to scale just this face over here, but as you can see I was also scaling this part and also this part. So the radius of this cycle needed to be less pronounced, like a small cycle over here, just to affect this face, not all the mesh. So over here I was facing this problem, but on like the following situations I managed to fix it. But over here I was just trying to work with that And as you can see, after establishing my mesh, I try to go to the bottom part and start adding the details, like this kind of concave detail. But yeah, I was facing the same problem with this kind of cycle. So yeah, I was just deleting the thing, redoing. So yeah, I spent amount of time over here trying to fix this problem, doing again, redoing, because on the tutorial the guy was doing the thing easily, but I was facing a lot of trouble. So I was like, okay bro, what I'm doing wrong? So but yeah, after trying again, redoing, deleting the things, I managed to do it. So let me show where we have like the situation. So yeah, this I was just trying again and again and again, but over here I was just able to do it. I just zoom it in, and then I was able to do the thing that I wanted. So after that, I applied the sheet smooth, and then I selected all the faces, and you can see that we have like the subdivision surface modifier over here also. I selected all the faces, and then I went to, you can see, right click and extrude faces along normals. So this way I'm able to create this kind of thickness of the barrel, as you can see. Okay, after that I decided to create new cuts over here and adjust a little bit the mesh. Okay, yeah, after that I decided to create a new collection, and I started modeling this other barrel, as you can see. So the idea was to scale the cylinder, rotate it a little bit to like fit on this specific point that we have, because over here we need to create like a gap to the handle. So yeah, with that I started scaling it, like extruding, scaling, and I was facing like the same problem with this kind of cycle that we have, like scaling things that I didn't want to scale. So yeah, but after that I managed to fix it. I don't know exactly the shortcut that I used to fix it. Let me see. I think that over here on the bottom part we have like, I think we have a shortcut to that, but yeah, maybe it's this kind of stuff over here, because we have, let me see, we have like decrease proportional influence. Maybe it's that thing, but anyway, I managed to fix it by changing the scale of that cycle. So yeah, but until this point I was facing the same problem. You can see that I was redoing again and again. I also created a new how can I say, cylinder to try to do the thing, but the thing wasn't working. So yeah, I was trying until the point that I managed to do it. Over here, let's see what I did. Let me see what I used to do it. So let's see. Let's go a little bit backwards. So over here, let's see. You can see that now my this fee was changed, but I'm not seeing what I was doing. I don't know like the shortcut that I used to do it, because the thing isn't listing over here. So yeah, I literally don't know what was the shortcut that I used to do it. I was thinking that I was scroll wheel, but I tried it again, but the thing wasn't working. So yeah, I don't really know what I used to do it. So but anyway, I managed to fix it. So I decided to create details on the barrel itself, like on the top part. So as you can see, just inserting faces, extruding, scaling, yeah, all the same stuff. And then I went to the bottom part, like I started adding this kind of details, and then I decided to move to create this gap that we have over here. So I selected the faces, I scaled it on the y-axis. So but this thing wasn't working the way that I wanted. So I decided just to rotate this mesh to fit the way that I wanted until the point. Yeah, when I found the point that I wanted, I just scaled it. So I think this is the point. So I scaled it, I inserted this face, and then I used like the bridge face. You can see that on edges. What is the mouse? Oh God, edges and bridge edge loops. This option was over here. So, and now we create this kind of bridged faces. So yeah, over here the idea was just to move the vertices around and start editing it until the point that I wanted. So yeah, this was, and you can see that I was following the reference. So I tried to move these to go towards this region, these to go towards that region. So the idea was to move these kind of vertices to go towards the thing that I wanted. And I also applied the subdivision surface modifier, as you can see. So yeah, right now the thing was working quote unquote well. So I was just adding new details and all the stuff. So I will just skip this a little bit. So I tried to fix this problem over here, but then I was like, no way, let me just skip this because I would spend a lot of time if I try to fix. So let me go to another stuff. Okay, nice. So after that I went to this product. I added a cylinder, and then you can see what is, we have like 8 vertices and using triangle fence. So the idea over here was to start modeling to the top part, to the bottom part. You can see that on the previous two we started on the bottom and then we moved to the top part, but this time the idea was different because you can see that the top part appears more like a cylinder, but the bottom part is going on a different pattern. So the idea is to start from the different thing and then go towards the thing that is like the same thing. So you start by the simple one and go to the complex. So the simple is like this cylinder, the complex is the other shape. So over here the idea was to scale this on a specific axis. You can see that I was just scaling on the x-axis. So it's just making like extrude and then scale on scale x. Yeah, you extrude on the z-axis and then you scale on the x-axis, like I explained it on the introduction part. So here I was facing problems, so I decided to redo it and do it properly to achieve the result that I wanted. After that I went to the bottom part. I added the details to the bottom part and also applied the subdivision surface modifier. So now you can basically see the product itself. So the idea, you can see that the x-axis is more, what can I say, large comparing to the other axis. So after that I started adding the details on this top part. So again using this orthographic view and also this other view. So let me speed this a little bit because I'm also seeing the time. So I want to cover this on a good amount of time. So after that I started modeling the other one. So the idea was to go to the top part, placing this cylinder, rotating, and again you remember that I explained this kind of default and go to local. So I did the same thing to do this accurately. So the idea over here was to like extrude, scale and rotate, but on a specific axis. So you can see over here that I was extruding this, like rotating and then scaling on the x-axis, extruding, scaling on the x-axis, like extruding on the z, and then scaling on, like rotating on all the axes, but scaling this on the x-axis, like the red one. So I was doing this like going downwards on the object just as a frame of reference. So after that, when I went to the bottom part, I added the details also, and then I went to the top part and I was doing like that kind of details on the mesh, like extruding it like this part to attach the cover itself. And I also selected the faces and I created that kind of extrude along normals. And after that, I started working with the vertices to achieve the result that I wanted. So just following the image on the reference, like on the background. So after that, with all of these in place, I decided to start modeling the covers, again following the tutorial. So I used a cylinder with 70 vertices. So let me go back to you to see a cylinder and 70 vertices. So again, I just placed the thing over there, scaled it. Basically the idea over here was just to like extrude, scale this face, and then I deleted this bottom face also. I extruded these along normals to create that kind of thickness. And after that, my idea was to select these loops. So you remember that I explained how to use like the Alt Shift to select the loop. So now the idea was to do the same thing, but jumping, like skipping one thing on the loop. So you can see that I use this what can I say, Shift Control Numpad. So it's the numpad plus. So it's basically Shift Control plus but on the numpad. So this way I was able to do it, just like selecting the thing and just skipping one. So after that, I inserted this face and I extruded it along normals to create like this kind of detail. So let me just show to you. So insect faces, extrude along normals, and now you can see this kind of details that we have on a cover of a borrow of water or any kind of borrow that use this kind of behave. So after that, I move it to the next product. So the idea over here was to do like the same thing. I started by doing this kind of stuff like scaling, extruding, inserting the face. Then I added another cylinder to do like the top part. I created cuts, and my idea over here was to select these. You can see that we have like these two faces over here, and what you can see that these faces have a degree of tilt. So what I did was use the scale option, like scale shortcut. So what I did was to scale on the x-axis and go to 0. So you can see here on SX0. So SX0. So this way I was able to make this become a straight line. So this way I just started to extrude it. After extruding, I started like working with the vertices to go towards the thing that I wanted. So yeah, basically straightforward stuff. After that, I went to the back part and I did the same thing, just using the vertices. After that, I decided to dissolve these edges because I wanted a different behave. Always following the tutorial again. So yeah, I just connected like this point to this point. To connect these 2 points, you just click on one vertex and you click on the another and you press F. I think it's join, to join, I think. Let's see. Join. So yeah, it's J. So you just click one other and you hit G to join these two vertices, I think. So it's basically that. after that, I started like just adding details, deleting faces, extruding the thing, and also applied the subdivision surface modifier and created new cuts. So have another cover over here. Again, so yeah, as you can see, it's basically that. Just doing tiny adjustments. So I decided to move to the next one. So this time the idea was to do again a cover, but on a different angle and inclination, but the idea was the same. What I did was just extruding it, scaling, and yeah, basically you can see scaling, extrude, insect faces, extrude it inwards, and then deleting the face, as you can see. And then I applied also, I think that I applied the subdivision surface modifier on this one. You can see, yeah, I spent a good amount of time here trying to do the stuff and yeah, going to the result that I wanted. So it's basically that. So after that I move it. Let me see, what is this? I already had all that kind of products done, so my idea was to continue modeling and doing another stuff. So this recording has like 4 hours, and right now the idea was to model a cattle. So this is again a video of that playlist of videos of that channel. So the next lesson was to model a cattle. So to do it, what I did was to add first a cylinder inside my scene. You can see that first of all I reduced the opacity of this image on the background. So to do that, you just go to the properties of the image over here and you enable opacity, and you just slide this to reduce the opacity of the mesh. So after that I added that cylinder, and what I did was just position it on the place that I wanted. I scaled it and then I extruded. So the idea was just to extrude this upwards to go towards the point that I wanted. So as you can see, just extruding. Let's go, what is so extruding, scaling, and when I hit the point that I wanted, what I did was to separate this face, and then this face becomes another mesh. So with this mesh, my idea was to start modeling the top part, so just separating it part by part. So right now I'm just extruding it to start doing like this kind of cover, and I also separated this face, you can see split, and then I started modeling this kind of handle stuff that we have on the top part. So after that, what I did was to start modeling the handle itself, like this kind of handle of the cattle. So to do that, no, it wasn't the handle itself. I created a cut. Where is, you can see that I created one cut over here, this cut. So I created this cut, and then I used the bevel tool on this face, and the idea was to change this mode where you can see over here that we have offset. The idea was to change offset to percentage, where it's offset to percentage, as you can see right now, where is my cursor. So offset to percentage, and then change this until the point that the thing appears like a cycle. Let's see. So basically this, and then what I did was I started joining these vertices. So it's just selecting the vertices and just hit J to join. So they're moving it to start modeling this front part of the cattle. Okay, as you can see, it's basically that. Nice. So after that, let me see what I did next. I just deleted this face, and then I selected all the faces, and then I used that kind of extrude along normals to create like that kind of volume to the mesh itself. And what is, I created new cuts, and then I applied the subdivision surface modifier. So yeah, you can see that this is working well. So after that, the idea was to add new cuts and also work on the remaining part. So I added the subdivision surface modifier to this part also, and yeah, I just created new stuff and creating new cuts to the mesh that I wanted. So okay, let me skip this a little bit. So the next step was to start modeling this kind of handle. So I added that cylinder, and my idea was to start just extruding and following the shape. So the idea isn't to start working on the details on the beginning part, like the beginning stages. So you just start like working on this, and after that you can go to the details. So you just do the easy stuff first, and then you start working on the details after. So after doing the easy stuff, what I did was to start selecting the faces that I wanted. So you can see I selected this region over here, and then I duplicated it, and after duplicating this part, I just started working on it. So the idea was to like move the vertices like to the point that I wanted. So let's see, I started working with the edge loops. So I selected the edge loops that I wanted, and I started scaling it to the point that I wanted. And after that, I also created another loop over here by using Ctrl R, and yeah, scaling the thing the way that I wanted. And yeah, you can basically see that first you do the easy stuff, and then you do the complex one. And I also created a face over here, like I joined all this stuff, and I just inserted it, you can see, just to create the behave that I wanted. So yeah, with that, I applied the subdivision surface modifier, and I already had like this kind of handle, and we have our kettle ready. So after that, my goal was to start modeling another object. So the next one was a headphone. So this headphone was like where I spent a lot of time to model. So the logic of that phone is to use the mirror modifier. So what I did was I added a cylinder inside my scene, and then you can see that I went to set origin to 3D cursor. So this way I have my reference point that I can use to work with this, to work with the mirror modifier, like I explained on the previous part. And with this I can just model one side and will be able to model the other side without needing to work. So with my cylinder, my idea, so I just deleted that cylinder and I added another cylinder with less vertices. What I did was to start like joining the opposite vertices. So just hitting J, as you can see. After that, I rotated it and I positioned on the point that I wanted. And my idea was to start extruding this upwards to go to the point that I wanted. So let's go to the point that I started extruding. So I selected this edge and I started extruding, but you can see that this isn't working quote unquote well, so I needed to delete it and do again. So this time the thing was a little bit accurate. So as you can see, my idea here is to connect this part to the mirrored version. So to do that, you can enable the snap tool. What is the snap tool? Is here. You can see this kind of image stuff. So this snap tool helps you to like move the object using the measurements of the grid. So if the grid of the world, so if the grid says that okay, each movement is like 1 centimeter or 1 meter. So you will use like that kind of 2 seconds. So yeah, this kind of real-time videos, we have this situation where I'm answering what can I say, call. But anyway, I was explaining the snapping tool. So you just use the snap to as a reference to like, okay, you want to increment 1 centimeter, 1 degree. So yeah, it's basically following the grid of the wall to the increment that you will do. So you can use this snap tool just to make sure that the vertices that you want is on the position that you want to place. So yeah, you can see that I tried to use I tried to use like the snapping tool. Let me just hit play over here to position this accurately, but after that I decided to like extrude this face. Let's see what is the play button. Extrude along normal. So I extruded this, and I also selected all these faces because I wanted to insect it, but I had this problem, so I needed to spend a little bit of time over here trying to fix it until what is the point that I fixed it. Where is, so yeah, right here I managed to fix it. So I just extruded along normals, and you can see that now we have a gap on this part. So over here we need to do that thing again, like selecting this face and then move to the point that we want. So I deleted all the faces, and the idea is to move these vertices to this middle point that we have over here on our reference. So as you can see, let's skip a little bit. I spent a little bit of time. So the idea is to move these vertices to this point to join to the other part. So yeah, as you can see, I did it, and now we have the thing joined. The idea is just to move these vertices to match with the base structure of the reference. So I was just moving it and doing all of it manually. After that, my idea was to extrude this part. So I wanted to select this face and extrude, but you can see that basically I had a problem of duplicated vertices. So what happened over here is that I was trying to extrude, and then I extruded it, but I didn't notice it that I extruded. So I ended with one vertex on top of the other vertex. So in this kind of situation, the idea is just to do all the things manually, like trying to delete the duplicated vertices. So my goal, what I can say, my solution to this was just to delete all the thing and do again. So what I did was to delete this and try to do again, because trying to fix this was taking me a lot of time. So as you can see, let me see the point where I just deleted all of these and started to do again because the thing wasn't working. So yeah, I deleted and I started doing it again. So as you can see, let me skip this again, trying to do the thing again and again. So I tried this more than 2 times, I think 3, because even doing the thing accurately, the thing wasn't working the way that I wanted. I think even here I deleted this again because the thing wasn't working. So yeah, I think this one was the point where I managed to do the thing accurately, because I was I don't know if this one, I think that I also deleted this one. Let me see, 2 seconds, let me see. Let me see, is this one? Yeah, it's this one. This is the accurate version. So at this moment I managed to do the thing that I wanted. I just wanted to extrude this part and I needed to delete all this stuff and redo, because yeah, I wasn't able to do it. So after that, the idea was to do this other structure over here. So to do that, I just added a new cylinder. I rotated it I use like the mirror modifier again, and I position over there. The idea was just to like extrude the thing, scale it, and position on the way that I wanted, and just doing the extrusion, scaling, intersecting the faces, just following my reference. So you can see even over here, the idea was just to select the thing and then extrude it until the point that I wanted, and creating new details. And with that, we basically have the headphone prepared and ready to apply the material. So I just spent a little bit of time just doing refinements and this kind of stuff. So we have our headphone. So I spent a lot of time over here trying to fix it, but we can advance to the next thing that I did. Let me see what I did next. Okay. Next, this was a mistake that I had because I enabled like the keyframe stuff, and this was considered animation. So what I did next was to start modeling an electric kettle. So over here I was just chilling because I wanted to do like 20 models, and I think that I already did. This time I had like 11 or 12 models. So I needed just to do like 7 more or 8 more, depending on the number that I had. Like now 8 or 9 more, I think, depending on the number that I had on the time. But anyway, so I just spent my time over here just doing this electric kettle. So I will just skip this because I wanted to like extrude this upwards, and then I went to the bottom part. I added the details. I started modeling the base. Anyway, after that, my idea was to start working on the top part. Let me go to the top part. I was just chilling because you can see that I was doing unnecessary things just to learn to do. But anyway, what is just advancing until the point. Okay, we managed to go to the point. So over here, my idea was just to do this kind of details. I selected the faces that I wanted, I extruded, I rotated it. Over here I was just shading, creating details, like creating cuts and all the stuff. So I would just skip this because it isn't the important stuff. I was just chilling and trying to do the amount of models that I wanted to. So okay, just adjusting this stuff. This wasn't working the way that I wanted. I tried to change the stuff, so I was this isn't working. So I decided to go back to the back part and do like the handle stuff. And then after I managed to do this kind of handle stuff, what I did next was to go back to the front part and fix this. So as you can see, I decided to fix it. What I did was I decided just to delete all the vertices and do it again on a proper way. So as you can see, I managed to fix it, and now we have our electric kettle. So I think that on this video I just modeled this kettle, and right now we have I also made another adjustments on the back part because we had some issues to solve, and I spent my time over there just doing the thing. So after that, what I did was to model the remaining objects. So you can see that this recording starts on this point that I was adjusting this kettle. So basically this recording has 4 hours, like 4.5 hours approximately. So here I managed to fix all the remaining models on this one. So let's see what I started doing. What I did over here was to start modeling a lamp. So to do that, I imported an image, I added as a background, and then I added a cylinder, on my scene and I started modeling the base. I created cuts, and then based on my cuts, I started doing the support by extruding it and rotating, going upwards until the point that I wanted, using my reference as my base. After that, I added I went to the base to fix this problem. You can see that when I applied the subdivision surface modifier, I had some kind of issues over here. My mesh wasn't working the way that I wanted. So yeah, I fixed it by deleting all of these and just connecting again. And I spent my time over there just fixing the stuff. After that, I went to the top part and then I added a cylinder. My idea was to start modeling this kind of shape. So what I did was I placed my mesh over there. I deleted the face. I remade it with a plane. So my idea was just to extrude this plane, and then I selected this face, inserted it a little bit, and then I extruded inwards just to make this behave. So yeah, with that we have our lamp. After that, I went to start working on the next object. Where is this next object? Is a sewing machine. So to do this sewing machine, I added an image as my reference. I added a cube as my base. So yeah, you can see that I'm trying to speed this a little bit up to be able to finish this in 3 hours and a half as a maximum. I hope. So I added a sewing machine. I created cuts, as you can see, cuts, and then I extruded this upwards and to the left, and yeah, basically I applied the subdivision surface modifier and I created cuts. So after that, I started doing the interface stuff, like this kind of cylindrical things. So yeah, I just spend my time over there creating details. So this kind of detail is the same thing that we have on like the Borough of Hora cover. So yeah, I was just doing the same thing again and again. Yeah, basically. After that, I moved it to start doing another details on the others, like just duplicating, doing this back stuff also. So yeah, I was just chilling and doing the stuff. I also decided to like do this detail over here. I spent my time over there just creating cuts, extruding, scaling, and all the stuff. So yeah, after that I tried to add more details by using the Boolean stuff, but the thing wasn't working. So I spent my time over here just trying to do it, but on the end of the day I just decided to remain with this mesh because yeah, this was already appearing like a sewing machine, so I didn't need it. I didn't need to go and do more because I was already able to like have an idea of a sewing machine. So after that, what I did was to start modeling a blender. So right now I was modeling a blender inside Blender. So yeah, anyway, I started working with a cube, but after that, after some analysis, I decided to go with a cylinder because I was a cube will not help me to go to the result that I want. So yeah, with a cylinder I just started extruding it and do like the same thing that I was doing on the previous stuff. You can see that when I hit a point, I just separate the face and I continue with this new face because I don't want to turn this all the things just in one specific mesh, because I can literally work and like disassembly this object. So separate the things is important. So after that I started extruding again, just following my reference, and when I hit the top part I also separated it, and this way I'm able to start working on the cover, as you can see. And I also added the detail for the front part where like all the stuff will go out, basically like the exit, as if I can say. I don't know how we can call this specific part, so I would just say exit of the things inside the blender. So yeah, basically that. And then I decided to go to the back part and start working to do the handle. So yeah, basically a straightforward situation, just adding the details and connecting the points using the bridge like faces, like the bridge edge loops, I think, or bridge faces to bridge these and just create this kind of faces. So yep, with that we have our Blender inside Blender. So after that I started like doing the interface, like this interface stuff to like adjust the velocity or speed of the Blender. Yeah, basically just using the same logic that I used to the stove burner, like extruding, scaling. I adjusted the mesh, like just creating new cuts, and yeah, doing all the things that was required. Okay, nice. So after that I moved to the next object. What is next object was the, okay, yeah, right here I decided to start modeling a drill. So right now I didn't want to use like a reference inside the Blender, so I was just seeing the reference on another monitor, and my goal was just to replicate it by using that reference. So yeah, it's basically modeling the stuff. So yeah, I spent my time over here just modeling using the cube as my base, and after that I decided to add the cylinder to do the front part. So yeah, to be fair, I didn't like the final result, but yeah, for me it was just another thing to learn. So I learned new ways to not do a 3D model. So yeah, that kind of duplicated vertices and all the stuff. So yeah, I faced the same issue over here when I tried to apply the subdivision surface modifier. So you can see that yeah, we have like this kind of problems on the mesh. So I was literally trying to fix it part by part, but yeah, after that I just give it up and I just move it to start modeling the other stuff, because yeah, I literally tried. I deleted these, I tried to connect the faces, and I did it again and again and again. I was trying to delete the duplicated vertices. Bro, I spent a good amount of time over here. I think like half hour maybe, just trying to I think no, half hour, no, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, near to do half hour to start to try to do it and fix it. So after that I decided to go to the next object. So the next one was like the graphic tablet that I use. So to do that I just used my reference. So and then I started just placing it and creating cuts to use my reference. And then I added a cylinder to do like that kind of middle, like the thing to do to okay, to do like the zoom in and out that we have on the graphic tablet, and also this kind of detail. So I will not go in depth with this part, because I think that is a straightforward stuff. If you already know how to do like the previous stuff, it's just a matter of connecting the vertices to make the cut that you want, and yeah, all this stuff. So I would just skip it, and yeah, I was just creating cuts, connecting vertices, extrude it, yeah, just using the basic stuff. I used the cube and I created cuts on the cube to create the buttons, like the shortcut buttons. Yeah, you can see that basically I was just trying out all the things to achieve the result that I wanted. So yep, after that, let me see what I did. So this was the shortcut buttons, just doing the stuff, applying the subdivision surface modifier, creating cuts to make the mesh stable or go towards the result that I wanted. So yeah, this wasn't working quote unquote well, as you can see, but I was like, okay bro, nobody will see this, so I'm just chilling over here. So I placed it over there, my mesh. So what I did next was to start modeling the, I think was the pen and the stand like of the pen. Yeah, was that. So yeah, I started doing it. So basically extruding, scaling, following the shape of the reference. And I also have this stand on my right now on my hand, so I can literally see like the angle and see what I need to do and all this kind of stuff. So After that, I started modeling the pen itself, like the stylus pen. So yeah, it's basically following the reference and do the things that is required. And I also applied the subdivision surface modifier to go to the result that I wanted. Nice. So after that, just remained one object to go to the 20 objects that I needed. So was a pen. So this time it's like a pen, literally a pen, not that kind of pen to fry stuff. So let's go. I added a cylinder. I started doing like this extrude stuff to do the details to the top part. I separated these to start doing the cover. As you can see, I'm basically just insecting the faces. Where is insecting the faces? Where is insecting the face and then extrude it. Yeah, it's basically that. Applied subdivision surface modifier. I create cuts. As you can see over here, it's just creating a cut and move downwards. Where is cut and move downwards? So yeah, as you can see. And then I started modeling the handle of this by using a cube, applying the subdivision surface modifier also. Yep. Over here I was trying to apply the boolean, but the thing wasn't working the way that I wanted. So yeah, on the end of the day, I remained just attaching this without applying boolean, just duplicating the thing. Or I could use the mirror over here, but yeah, at the time I was just doing the thing, and this was the last model. So, and you can see that I was doing this for 4 hours straight. So I was like, okay bro, I need to finish this. Yeah, I need to go and start working on the following project. So yeah, at the moment I just wanted to finish it. So yeah, with that we have basically all the things that I did on the like the 20 models that I did on the project 2.0. So after that, let me just pause this and go to the what is project 2.0. 2.0. So after that, what I did was to work on this specific headphone. So apply the material on that phone. Basically I didn't record this because it was a more complex stuff, and again you can go to that guy's channel and you will learn how to do it. So after applying the material, so I think that I can explain this. Let me go to the folder where is project open recent project 2.0. Okay, this is the project 2.0. So I just want to explain this to you. So 0, let me see where is headphone, is this one. So 1, zoom, 3, zoom, and I want to apply material to this. So let me go to the render mode. So the material preview, so is Z material preview, and I can select, for example, this mesh, and I go over here. I think nope, is material, I think is here, and then I can, for example, add a reddish color to this. Okay, I will just apply this and also create a new material and apply over here a black color. Let me go black. And yeah, it's basically what I did was something like this, but as you can see, let me zoom this in. This kind of stuff has properties. If I move this to metallic, you can see that basically this becomes a metallic stuff. If I reduce the roughness, you can see this mesh starts to be like a reflective stuff. You can see basically it's like a metallic stuff, and also yeah, you can see. But if you can see metallic, if I reduce this stuff of metallic, this starts to become like a plastic stuff. Oh god. But okay, we have like the roughness. So with the roughness, we reduce this kind of reflective property. And yeah, so I was just chilling with this, like doing some metallic, reducing the roughness. So yeah, was basically what I was doing over here with this kind of applying the material. Okay, nice. So let me go back to the image itself, and what I did next was to like do a quick animation, as you can see. So let me find a longer video. So this one is fine. So yeah, basically I did this animation after applying the material. So yeah, this was the last thing that I did on the week. So no week, the project 2.0 related to this part. So yeah, after modeling all the 20 more like objects, I started applying the material to this object like I explained it over here. And then like the next step was just to do the animation with my camera. So you can see that I have a camera over here. So this camera, where is the camera? This camera, so this is the camera over here. So I use this one to start animating basically. But yeah, if you want to learn more about this kind of animation stuff, you can go to that guy's channel and learn by yourself. So yeah, with that we can start. We can go and start working on this thing about the project 2.1. So as you can see, all the models that we have on this image, I explain it like over here on YouTube version. I'm explaining this on a surface way. So it's just talking about on a surface level way, because I don't want to go in details on this old stuff. If you want to have all the details, explanation, like talking each point by point, you can go to the Patreon version, where I literally explain like literally each individual point. It's like for beginning until the end of the video, I'm explaining each individual point. After doing all of this, you can see that I did this image that I already showed to you right here basically. So this is that image where I rendered it, and after that I did the animation. So right now we will go and start talking about the project 2.1, where the idea is to use the logic of this project and also the logic of the previous weeks to start working on a quote-unquote small environment with a lot of objects inside. So what I decided to do was to use my setup. Okay, alarm again. I used my setup to recreate this. Basically this isn't like one by one my setup, but for example, like all the things that are on top of the table, like the monitors, the mouse pad, the mouse, headphone, and all the stuff, this is literally my setup. The chair itself is like literally the chair that I use, but for example, these books are different. The bed is different, the walls are different. So yeah, I just wanted to show this to you and like teach how to do this. So again, I will talk about this on a more surface way. So if you want to learn more about this, you can also watch that guy's tutorial where he explains like the things that the logic that I use to do all this stuff. And you can also go to my Patreon and learn more. So okay, let's advance and start working on this specific stuff related to the project 2.1. So okay, we have I think 1 hour to cover all of this. So let me start the following video. Where is, so you can see that this recording have 7 hours. yeah, you can see that basically I was grinding over here. I was on like vacation, so I had all the day to draw and model. So yeah, I was using my time 100% of my time over here. But for example, now I'm on college again, so I have to do the assignments, home assignments, exams, and all the stuff. So yeah, I don't have a lot of time to do it. So yeah, but anyway, let's talk about the things that I was doing on this specific moment. So the first thing that I did was to start searching references to use to model the things that I wanted. So basically, all the images that I'm using here are to model my setup. So the unique thing that I literally needed to take a photo was this data show that we have over here. So yeah, to this data show I literally needed to just use my phone and take a photo because I wasn't finding the image on the internet. So but the other stuff, yeah, was easy to find, just using the model reference and find a image that appears like the image that I want, or even the exact same model. So yep, basically I spent my my first stages just doing it. So after that I moved it to Clip Studio and I started doing the front view and the side view, the top view and the side view of my reference. So this is the front view, the top view of the room, and also the bedroom, and also the side view of the bedroom. So here I was just sketching without using ruler, yeah, just using my hand literally, not using shift and all the stuff or perspective grids, just doing the thing. I tried to put this on a 3D space just to see if the thing was working. So yeah, after seeing, okay, yeah, this is working quote unquote well. So what I did next was to start doing the thing with more detailed I'm gonna say lines. And another thing that I want to point out, don't let your flow plane what can I say, limit yourself, because when I was working I realized that this flow plane wasn't working well to the using the thing that I wanted to do. So sometimes the measurements wasn't right. I needed to add more stuff, add more details. So yeah, don't let the flow plane or the orthographic views limit yourself. Sometimes you will need to just do more, add more details and all the stuff. So yeah, based on my flow plane, I went to Blender, I created a new project. The idea here was to create a collection. I called it base. So I also created a new created this another viewport view point of view. I added my reference over there. So I started by adding a cube and trying to to place the floor plane and also the wall itself. So I was just doing the side view and also the top view by using just one cube. So let me just skip a little bit. So yeah, I did the cube. I created cuts to start doing the vertical stuff, but I faced problems, so I needed to go and fix it by vertices. Yeah, I was doing it, redoing it, trying to apply the subdivision surface modifier. So yeah, but the thing wasn't working the way that I wanted, bro. Until the point where I managed to do it. Let me see. So over here I was just trying, failing, but on a point I managed to do it right here. So after that I just decided to create cuts As you can see, just create cards, and yeah, we have like the mesh ready to work. So after that, I decided to start working on the other objects. So I added a mesh to start working on the bed. So yeah, I just placed it one bed, I duplicated it, I placed it another structure for the bed, and then I started modeling the legs. I also used the mirror modifier to this part just to mirror all the legs. With the bed established, what I did next was to create like the table. So as you can see, I just added a cube and I started moving it, positioned the way that I wanted. And you can see that over here we have two levels. We have this cube on the top part and the cube on the bottom part. So basically the cube on the bottom part represents the table itself, like with legs and all the stuff, as you can see over there. But the table on the top part represents a door. So yeah, basically I use a door on top of a table because using a normal table wasn't working for me. So I just used a door as my table. Yeah, basically. So yeah, because of that, we have that just these two layers to show this kind of stuff. Yeah, just a door as my table. But anyway, after that, what I did was I moved this because I wanted to start modeling the monitor. So I added the image as a background. As you can see, like I added the front and the side view. This isn't like a one by one of my monitor, is like approximation. So I just used this as my reference to start working on. So what I did was I added a cube inside my scene. I scaled it. After that, I selected the front face and I inserted this face and also extruded it inward. So you can see basically this is the behave. And after that, I started working on the side view. So to work on the side view, I just started to extrude this. You can see, let me go backwards. I started to extrude this and put on like the position that I wanted. So this way, I am able to go back over here and just select, let me show to you, and just select all this and go downwards to the point that I want. So this way I'm able to go towards the point that I want and then scale the thing the way that I want. So I created cards, and after that I decided just to scale this on the x-axis, as you can see. So yeah, doing the details on the back part isn't the important stuff, because on this scenario I just wanted to show the front view, but I was just chilling and doing the back part also. So yeah, I spent my time over there, then I scaled it and I put it on the location that I wanted. So yeah, okay, I spent my time over there just scaling it. I also applied the subdivision surface modifier on the bed. And yeah, I spent my time over there just creating cards and making all sure. And also I did the same thing for the table itself. And yeah, so after that I started modeling the second monitor. So I will not explain a lot of this kind of monitor stuff, because it's literally doing the same thing, adding a cube, like selecting the front face and inserting that face, and then after inserting, extrude it and start doing the details on the back part. So it's basically a linear stuff. The unique thing that is new over here on this monitor is this kind of extrusions that I did like inwards, applying the subdivision surface modifier, and also here on the bottom part I did like the same thing, if I remember. So I think that I did the same thing over here on the bottom part. Yeah, as you can see I did it. And I also added the structure for the support, like this kind of support that we have over here. I also modeled it just using a cylinder as my base. So yeah, basically this is the same thing. And what I did next was just to take this and move to the point that I position it. So this monitor isn't on a normal position. I normally use this one on a flipped portrait position, so orientation. So I use my monitor like this. So yeah, I just position over there. These monitors are floating, but after that I will add like the supports for the monitor. So yeah, I spend my time over there just adjusting, and I decided to model the next one. So this is the third monitor. So okay, basically I did the same thing. Sorry for the background noise. Anyway, real-time video. This kind of stuff. So okay, doing the same thing, so same thing. So again, this kind of monitor stuff is linear. The unique thing that we have new over here is that I use this monitor on a tilted landscape. So it's just I rotate this like 180 degrees to go towards the result that I want. So yeah, it's basically that. Let me show to you. I think that is already rotated. So basically I use this on this behave because when I want to like turn on and off the monitor, it's hard for me to do this on a normal position, but when I rotate, this become easier. So yeah, after that I went to start modeling the monitor 4. So this is the last one. I used like 4 monitors on my setup. I have like another one, but it's broken. So I literally wanted to fix it, but I don't have like motivation to fix it because my graphic card, my main PC just have like 3. My graphic card just have like 3 ports to connect, and for me it's fine. Yeah, I don't need more monitors, and I also use another monitor on my laptop. So for me, yeah, it's fine. I just need to work with this. So yeah, just 4 monitors. And again, this is the straightforward stuff, just extruding, scaling. The unique thing over here again is that kind of support stuff that I had to model. So but I will skip it because it's a straightforward situation. So yeah, just adding the details, applying the subdivision surface modifier, creating cuts using cylinders. Yeah bro, straightforward. So what I did was just taking this and position on my table, and again I use this on a portrait behave orientation, and you can see that this monitor is floating. What I normally do to fix this problem, because this isn't just floating, I put books on the bottom part. So basically now I'm modeling books. So but if you want to put books on the bottom part of your monitor, you have to make sure that the monitor will not fall out. Fall is the correct thing. Okay, anyway, if you have to make sure that the thing is safe, basically. For a lack of better word, I would say that, yeah, you have to make sure that the monitor is safe on that position, because any kind of movement that you do on the table, yeah, the monitor can go down and just, yeah, you will lose your monitor. But anyway, I was modeling this book. It's just a straightforward stuff, just extruding, scaling, and all the stuff. So anyway, so after that I just move with this and I put it on the table. As you can see, I spent my time over there just adjusting the thing until the point that I was happy with the result. So what I did next was to just adjust the thing and go and start modeling the next stuff. You can see that this was just 3 hours of modeling. This video, this specific recording, has 7 hours. So yeah, 3 hours we have this result. After that I started modeling the case of my my PC. So I use a Intech, I think it's Elite Pro, I think, anything like that. So yeah, this Intech case, yeah, this is a cool case. So what I did over here was adding like the the front view, the side view, the top view, and also the back view to work with this. After that, I added a cube, and I tried to make the cube fit over there. And what I did here, I was trying to use the subdivision surface modifier, but the thing wasn't working. So I spent, I think, like 1 hour or more trying to apply the subdivision surface modifier, as you can see, but the thing wasn't working the way that I wanted. Let me skip this kind of subdivision surface modifier. So after a lot of time just trying to use the subdivision surface, okay, I just decided to work that with like a base mesh. So after that, I just applied the boolean over here, like explained on the introduction part. Apply the boolean on the back part, and also on the supply, like the power supply region, as you can see. And I also applied the boolean on the, like, this front part to the fence. So nice, boolean, 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 also there. Nice. And also over here. So yeah, I applied the boolean on all the points that I felt that, yeah, was necessary. So after that, I started like modeling the front part of the case, like this front part, as you can see, just extruding, scaling. I will not go in details. After that, the idea was just to create this kind of pattern that we have on the front view. Yeah, what I did was just to create a cube, like use the array modifier and just duplicate it until the point that I wanted, just to use the boolean over there. So yeah, I was just doing this. The thing wasn't working the way that I want. So what I needed to do was just to cut a specific part and apply the boolean to this specific part that I cutted. Yeah, was that specific thing. So that area over there was my reference to apply the boolean. So yeah, basically now you can see that I created this kind of pattern. Okay, nice. So after that, what I did was to start adding more details to this front panel. But after doing this kind of stuff, what I did was, anyway, let me go and start working on the top part. So on the top part, I just like did like the details for the power, like to the power button, the reset button, the USB interface, and also the audio jack interface. So yeah, I was just there, just doing this kind of details. And after that, I started like working on the top part. My idea over here was just to do this pattern on the top part using a cylinder and also the boolean. So yeah, what I did was just using array, and then I started duplicating it. I faced like the same problem that I faced on the previous part. So to fix it, I just selected a specific part of the mesh, and I literally applied the boolean just to that part rather than trying to apply the boolean to all the mesh. So let me show the specific point. So yeah, basically over here, my idea was just to apply the mesh to this part that I separated. So yeah, after to apply the subdivision, I think the boolean itself. So yeah, let me show. So yeah, right now you can see that I literally the thing was working. So I move it to start working on the back part. So but you can see when I move it to the back part, I lost the subdivision that I made over here. So I need to go back over there and fix the problem after. You can see that I fixed the problem, and I went over here and I also applied the boolean. So yeah, right now you can see that okay, the thing is working. So I started doing the details on the bottom part, like the support or the legs of the case. After that, I think that this was all for this case. I think just I made like a placeholder fan. This isn't the final one. I was just chilling and placing this, but after I did a better version. So yeah, basically we have this, and after that I just selected this. I made like the placeholder for the front view. So after that, I just scale it and I move it to the point where I put it on the setup over there. So yeah, I made like adjustments to make sure that the thing was on the correct point. So yeah, after that I move it to the next thing. So let me see, what is the next thing? Where is this one? So yeah, it's this one. So the next recording over here, we have 1 hour. I think that I was modeling the no, this isn't the correct recording. So this isn't the correct one. The correct one is this. So this is the second recording. So right here I was adjusting the monitors, and my idea was to start modeling the motherboard. So here we have the reference. So what I did over here was I started by adding a cube. With this cube I started modeling this kind of surface that we have over there, just creating cards. So I will just speed this a little bit up because it's a lot of things to explain if I want to go in detail. So this is a surface level explanation. So you can see that basically I added this kind of detail. I spent my time over there just adjusting the thing. Okay, after that I applied also the boolean to create this kind of perforations. Okay, nice. After that I added another cube to start doing the socket of the CPU. I added details over there. I spent my time just making sure that the thing was on the correct point. Okay, I will speed this a little bit up. Subdivision surface modifier, new details. Anyway, I also use the boolean over here and I add the new details. So yeah, with that I move it to start working on the RAM slots. So to the RAM slots I just added a cube and I scaled it. My idea was just to create cards to emulate that kind of behave of the socket. So yeah, it's basically just creating cards, extruding the parts that I wanted to extrude, and just not extruding the parts that I didn't want to extrude. So it's basically that. I did the thing to this left part over here, and I just rotated to do this on the other part, just paying attention because the RAM slot isn't like this. RAM slot on the left part is different on this other part because the thing is rotated, like yeah, it's rotated. So it's like if this line is on the bottom part over here, this line is on the top part. So it's basically, you can see that this line over here, if you draw a straight line, you can see that this is down and this is up. So because this is rotated. Anyway, after that I started modeling this. I think this is a heat sink. Let me see over here. Yeah, it's a sink. So yeah, basically I started modeling this sink. So to do that I added a plane basically, and I used the knife tool. So the knife tool is this one over here. To use it you can just go to edit mode and just press key. So what this to use, okay, the advantage of using this knife tool is that you can cut exactly the thing that you want to cut. So for example, when you have this kind of different patterns like this one, you can just use the knife tool and cut this specific part. So yeah, it was basically what I was doing, just using the knife tool, creating these cards, and you can go and just delete these. So yeah, let me just keep this. Yeah, bro, I'm speaking for more than 2 hours, so yeah, this is a little bit hard to maintain the consistency on my voice and the way that I'm speaking. So yeah, I spend my time over there just creating new cards and also creating the cards, deleting the faces. So yeah, you can see that it's a straightforward stuff. Just you need to to put your time over there, just creating cuts and deleting the faces. After that, I decided to add a new cube on the middle, and just cutting the cube itself to use, like, to follow the same shape. Anyway, after that, I started modeling the capacitors, just adding a cylinder and just using the array modifier. So I spent my time just also doing the NVMe M2 like socket, and also the chip itself. So yeah, I spent my time over there just doing this stuff, applying the Boolean. I also modeled the PCI Express X16, like this part that we use to connect our graphic cards and all this stuff. So yeah, I was just there creating this stuff. Okay, I also add new capacitors, new details. So yeah, I spend my time just placing these components on the motherboard. Okay, let me skip this. After that, I started I started working on this back panel, like doing the USB interface, doing the LAN interface, the audio jack interface. So yeah, I spent my time over there applying the Boolean to add this kind of details, doing the LAN interface, and also the audio jack. Where is audio jack? Over here. So yeah, I was basically doing this stuff. So yeah, after that, I literally just added like the motherboard connection to the power supply, and also the CPU part connected to the connector to the power supply. So yeah, I was just doing the thing, and then I scaled it and I put it inside the case. Okay, nice. So after this, I went to the next part. So we have another recording. So this recording has 1 hour. So over here I was just modeling the graphic card. So I use a old graphic card. I need to upgrade it, but until now, yeah, this is working quote unquote well. But yeah, anyway, I added a cube but anyway, I wanted to work with a plane. So after that, I just deleted it and I made my cube a plane. With that, I started cutting it again using the knife tool to go to the result that I wanted. Anyway, let me skip this. I was just cutting it, all the details that I wanted. Okay. After that, when I already had like all the details, I just selected the face that I wanted and I literally extruded it. So let me just speed this a little bit up, and you can see that I selected the face that I wanted and I extruded. So this way I was able to create this kind of volume. So after that, my idea was just to start working on the fans. So to do the fans, first let me just skip this. I tried to add a cylinder, but after that I just decided to add a plane. With the plane, I was able just to start cutting these parts that I wanted. So as you can see, just cutting the fan shape. And yeah, anyway, let me skip. And after that, I just extruded it. So as you can see, let me show the part rotating and extruding. So yeah, basically I extruded it, and right now I have the behave that I wanted. After that, I spent my time just modeling the ports, like the DVI, the parallel, like the serial part, and also the HDMI part, and I think the display port. So let me see. I think that I have four. What can I say? I have display port, I have DVI, and I have HDMI. Yeah, three 3 ports. Anyway, I modeled that stuff, and also the PCI part, like to connect like the anyway. So after that, I moved this to the motherboard, and I position the graphic card inside the case connecting to the motherboard. Anyway, after that, I moved that that fan of the graphic card to start placing on the motherboard. Yeah, because I was there. Yeah, this fan is more interesting comparing to the other one. So yeah, I was just moving it. Anyway, you can see that I moved that and I placed over there. So yeah, basically I move it to this one. So this recording as a point as a note that says to cut. I think that on the ending part of this recording, I have something that wasn't supposed to go on the recording itself. So yeah, I will stop maybe by 40. Yeah, 2 hours and 40, because I think over here I have thing that wasn't supposed to be on the recording. But anyway, over here I started working on the idea of the RAM slots. Anyway, after that, I started modding the CPU cooler. I added my reference. This is a straightforward stuff, so I will not use a lot of time over here. It's just placing the cube, use the reference as the base. I applied the boolean over here, as you can see, boolean. After that, my idea was to start modeling this heatsink that we have over here. So to do that, I added a cube, I added another cube, and I used the array modifier to create this kind of behave. So my idea was to just use this to create the boolean. So but the thing wasn't working. What I did was I tried to fix this mesh by hand. After that, I was able to apply the boolean, and then I started modeling these kind of tabs that we have over here. So yeah, I will just speed because this is just extruding, scaling, and yeah, all the stuff. So anyway, after that, I already have my heatsink, so the CPU cooler ready. So I move this and I place it on the case itself. So anyway, so after that, to connect this to the case, to the motherboard and the CPU, I need to put this support over here. So I added the image of the support and I started cutting using the knife tool, again just using the knife. So I spent my time over there just cutting. After that, I just extruded it, as you can see over here, and I move it to the board, and my idea was just to connect over there. So yeah, after adjusting and all the stuff, I spent my time over here just adding new details, like creating this kind of support to hold this on the support. And yeah, after that, yeah, we basically have this ready. I spent my time adding new details. I also used the fan of the GPU to put on the fan, because on the CPU cooler, because I was anyway nobody will see this. So yeah, after that I was just adding new details. I started modeling this kind of screws that we have on the glass on the side view. So yeah, basically over here we already near to the end part of the case itself. So yeah, I was just adding these kind of details, and yeah, doing the power supply details. So let's see what I modeled next. Okay, after that I started modeling the data show. So this again is a straightforward stuff, adding the image as a reference. I added the cube, I selected this face, I inserted it, I extruded inwards, I created a cut here on the middle. After creating the cut, I used a cylinder, applied the boolean with the cylinder over here, and also just like I extruded, scaled this part, and yeah, I also applied the subdivision surface modifier. So I spent my time over here just fixing this, but the idea was basically to create a data show. So with my data show in hand, I just take this, I scale it, and I put it on top of my PC. So yeah, you can see that basically I'm closing the audio, no audio, we can say the airflow, because I'm putting this on top of the what can I say, the case. But anyway, this was the unique point that I had to literally place this and work properly. But right now the thing isn't there. So yeah, now the air is flowing pretty well. So anyway, let's go. What was the next thing that I did? Let's see, I'm just skipping. So yeah, the next thing that I did was to start modeling this switch. So again, the switch is a straightforward stuff. It's just a cube. I applied the boolean, and I used like that kind of knife tool to cut this RJ45 interface. And yeah, I was just doing the thing by hand anyway. And after spending a lot of time over here just trying to do this, I managed to do the thing that I wanted. So I literally, after doing it, I just duplicated it, and yeah, we have our switch. So with that, I moved the switch to the point that I use, and after that, the idea was to start modeling the modem. So to model the modem, I used the reference of the modem. I used again the knife tool to cut it and do the details. Like I started by doing the front view. After doing the front view, I just extruded it, as you can see. And my next step was to start doing the back view. So I added a reference to that, and I started adding the details to the back view. So again, this is a straightforward stuff, just creating cuts using the knife tool, extruding, scaling, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to see if I go to the point where I can go to the next video, because this has a note to cut the video. So yeah, I think to this point is enough. So basically over here I was just moving this and position on the point that I normally the modem is. So basically, let's see. Anyway, so basically we have the modem over there. So let me go to the next recording. Okay, so this is the next recording. After doing the modem, what I did next was to start modeling let me see. I started modeling the support. So to this support is again a straightforward stuff. You can see that this recording has 20 minutes. So yeah, basically I added the support. I just cutted the thing using the knife tool. Yeah, this is a straightforward stuff. So I will not waste our time just explaining this. Just using the knife tool, use the boolean, and follow this shape on the 2D view. So yeah, and also extruding the mesh. Yeah, it's basically that, bro. Nothing to explain over here. Just use the knife tool, cut the thing that you want, use the boolean if you want to speed up your work, and then you just do this kind of support stuff. So after that, I finished it. I finished that support because we have like that kind of vertical stuff. So I moved the support to this back part, and then I started modeling the mouse. So I lost the recording because after that 20 minutes I did a quick break, and then I went back to the PC. But I don't know if I didn't record or if I lost the record, because I'm not finding the record of that part. So yeah, what I did next was to start modeling the mouse. You can see that this is recording as like 6 hours. So after recording the mouse, I started working on the microphone, like the mic. So to do that, I just added my reference. My voice is already going. Oh god. So I added my reference, and as you can see, the idea is the same, like just extruding, scaling. Bro, I would not put a lot of effort to explain this, because as you can see, it's like straightforward stuff. Like you put a cube on, like let me put play, and again you put a cube inside your scene. You use your reference as your base, and then you start extruding and scaling. And if you want to model another part, you can use like that the top face. You can separate the top face and start working on the other mesh just to not mix the faces. So yeah, it's basically that. Yeah, I'm trying to explain this on a more slow way because my voice is going, but yeah, we need to speed this a little bit up, because there are 4 hours of video is a lot if we go until that point. So let me speed again. Yeah, after doing this kind of stuff, I spend my time over there just adding details. Anyway, after that, my idea was to start modeling this kind of tripod stuff, like the support. So I did that cylinder. I started extruding and scaling, as you can see. After that, my idea was just to create cuts, because I wanted to create this that kind of bridge, that kind of bridge edge loops that we did previously. Let me show to you. Let me wait until the point where the faces was bridged. So right click, bridge faces. So this way we can bridge the faces and do the thing that I want. So yeah, but over here the thing wasn't working the way that I wanted. I literally tried to do like these other details, apply the subdivision surface modifier, but anyway, this isn't working. So after that, I just deleted all of this. So let me show the point where I deleted all of this, because I also wanted to, I tried to sculpt it, but yeah, my vertices wasn't working the way that I want. So I just did this again. So basically what I just deleted all of this, and I started doing it again, but this time my goal wasn't to not do the thing wrong. So anyway, we have this part, and then just connecting the points. So yeah, I spent my time over here just making sure that I wasn't doing the thing wrong. I used subdivision surface modifier. I created this kind of details. After that, my idea was to start modeling this kind of like support over here that we have, where we put the mic inside. So to do that, my idea was to use a plane, just cut it and use the mirror modifier, because the unique thing that I needed to do is just to model one side, and I will be able to like do the thing on the other side by mirroring. So yeah, I did this on this front view, and I also did it on the side view. So I basically did it. So let me skip anyway. So after having all the cuts made, the idea was just to apply the mirror modifier. So you can see that I spent my time over here just trying to figure out how to do it. What I did to fix this problem was to use a cube as my reference. So let me show the cube. So this cube over here that we are seeing, I used this cube as my reference to the mirror modifier. So this way I had like a reference point that I could use to apply this. So okay, after that, what I did was to start working on like the connection of this part and the part on the back, and also placing the mic inside the support. So what is the mic? So again, I placed it. So my next step was to start working on the legs. So I spent my time over there just modeling the legs of the mic, and then what I did was to start working on the filter. Let me skip anyway. Filter, just adding a cylinder and applying the subdivision surface modifier, and after that I just started like doing this connection stuff to the back part. So over here I literally tried to do that kind of bezel curve. The thing wasn't working, so I ended up doing this by hand. So I would skip this because yeah, it's a boring stuff to explain. Okay, with that I think that we have the mic ready. So I spend my time over here just modeling these kind of details anyway. So after that I just move the mic to the table. Anyway, as you can see, I was explaining that I was modeling the legs, and then I spent my time over here just fixing the problems, because like the degree of inclination of the legs wasn't working. So yeah, anyway, I spent my time over here just changing the things and make sure that the mesh was working the way that I wanted. So after my mic was done, I moved it to start modeling the second support of the monitor. So what I did was I added a image as a reference. So this is a more straightforward stuff, so I will not put a lot of effort to explain this, because I just added a cube over here, and after that I added like I used the array modifier just to have the second version of this. I added another cube on the middle and also a cylinder to represent this specific part. After that, what I did was I added a plane and I started cutting this using the knife tool to do this part that will connect to the back part of the monitor. So anyway, just using the the knife tool to cut it. So this is a more straightforward stuff. After that, I moved this to the region that I wanted, and I just connected this to the point that I wanted. So I spent my time over here just making sure that the thing wasn't working properly. After that, my next step was to start modeling this kind of structure that represents like the what can I say? I think to hold it on the wall. But yeah, this is that kind of detail that aren't that important. And I also did the same thing for this monitor on the wall, that one that I lost the recording of. So anyway, you can see that I was just creating this kind of safe stuff because I was just chilling. Anyway, after that I move it to start modeling the third support. What is, I think, yeah, this support is for the graphic tablet. So it's just a normal support, like that kind of laptop support. So yeah, I added a cube, I added the array modifier, and then I just changed the degree of this, like becoming an inclined plane. And then I spent my time over there just adding the details. I also spent a good amount of time trying to create this kind of behave of this like this kind of tilted and also going to the side stuff. So yeah, this is a little bit hard, but anyway, I spent my time over there just doing the thing. And I also did the mirrored version, as you can see, just to create this kind of X pattern. As you can see, I'm just keeping this because yeah, this is a little bit boring to explain, and you can see that I spent like, I think, a lot of time over here just doing this kind of stuff. So anyway, let's skip. Oh yeah, I managed to do it right now. So after that, what I did was to start modeling my idea was to start modeling the graphic tablet and also the pen itself. So to avoid it, I just went to the previous file and I grabbed it, like I copied this and I added on this scene. So basically, I first added the graphic tablet itself. So I move it, I scale it, and I put it on the place. And after that, I just added the pen itself, and I move it and I place it on top of the table. So right now, what was remaining was to start modeling the mouse pad. So to do the mouse pad, what I did was to add this kind of cube, and let me just hit play, and so this way you will understand. So I added the cube, and with this cube, what I did was just shape it to appear like a mouse pad. So yeah, it's basically that. After that, I started scaling the things, like scaling the pen. I also scaled the mouse because this was yeah, was unproportional, so I need to make this more proportional. So yeah, I spend my time over here just doing these adjustments. And after that, let me see what I did next. Was to start modeling the keyboard. So I use this kind of old keyboard, like that kind of office keyboard. So yeah, I added a plane, and my idea was just to cut these spaces that we have, like the case, by using the knife tool. So yeah, you can see that I spend my time over there just cutting it, the individual space, cutting. Okay, anyway, after having all the points established, my next step was to start deleting these faces. As you can see, what is over here, so I selected all the faces and I just deleted it. What is delete faces? So after deleting, I started like modeling each individual key by just adding a cube, and also if possible using the array modifier, because if the thing wasn't following the same pattern, I was able to use the array modifier, as you can see on the background recording. So anyway, after that I did the same thing for the other stuff. You can see basically using the same logic. So yeah, this kind of stuff that are more like straightforward stuff, I will not put a lot of time to explain, because yeah, anyway. So yeah, after that, with the key established, what I did next was just to extrude this to create that kind of behave that you wanted. So let's see, yeah, extruding downwards, and then I added another cube just to make the base of the keyboard. So yeah, after that, with the keyboard established, the idea was just to move this to the table and just place over there to do the thing that you want. So what is, so we just need to scale this and move to the table, and you can see that my keyboard is rotated because I like to use this on this specific position. So yeah, we have the keyboard over there on the table. Okay, again, sorry for the background noise, but anyway, the next step was to start modeling the notebook, or anyway laptop, if you want to say. So over here we have the reference for this. What I did was I added a cube inside my scene, and I first started with the miniature. So to the miniature, I'm using the same logic that I used to the previous 4 that I modeled. So yeah, just adding a cube, selecting the face, like the front face, like inserting it and then extruding inward. So yeah, it's basically the same logic. After that, my idea was to start working on the keyboard part. So I started by adding the rotational axis, as you can see, and then I move it to start working on the keyboard. So to the keyboard, what I did, I basically added a keyboard reference image inside my scene, and I used the same logic that I used to do like that other keyboard. Like if the key is similar to the others, I can use like the array modifier. If the key is different, what I can do is just do it like alone, like a specific key and all the stuff. So yeah, I spend my time over there just doing these over and over and over. Where is, let me go back because I think that I skipped it. Where is, oh no, I think the recorded ended, so I need to go to the following one. I don't know what is the next recording. I think is this one. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's this one. So after that, I started just doing the other keys, and we basically have the keys done. I started like modeling this front panel, and then my idea was to model the touchpad and also the buttons on the touchpad region. So yeah, after that was a matter of adding details to the keyboard, like applying boolean on the top part, starting to like do these details on the side view, like these slots or to flow the air, yeah, the like memory card slot, the audio jack slot, and also the CD, like I think that we have like the CD like the CD player, yeah, this kind of details. So I spend my time over here just doing these details. I will not like put a lot of time to explain this, but yeah, you can basically see on the recording that we have this kind of stuff. So after that I just scaled it and I move it and I place it on the point that I used on my desk. Okay, anyway, I spent my time just adjusting this to make sure that I was following the correct orientation that I had on my setup. So right now the thing is a little bit different, but the logic on that time was this that we have on the recording. Okay, anyway, we already have the thing established, so we can go to the next recording. As you can see, this is already on the end. So over here I was just adjusting the thing, and after that I decided to start adjusting the room itself, like that kind of stuff that I was saying, that don't let like the dimensions that you already established limit you to change stuff, because sometimes you start feeling that the dimension wasn't correct on real life. The thing, like when you see the 3D model itself, you see, yeah, this isn't working the way that I wanted, so I need to change a little bit to go towards the result that I want. So yeah, at this moment I was doing that specific stuff. So I changed the dimension of the room, I changed the dimension of the bed, just to go towards the thing that I wanted. So after that, this is the final recording of this week. What I did on these 5 hours was that I started by modeling my headphone. So I will skip this part because the headphone is like a straightforward stuff that I will already explain it. So I'm basically using the same logic of using the mirror modifier and then just extruding, scaling the thing. So it's basically doing the same thing just for different stuff. So I would just skip, and yeah, you'll see like this kind of time lapse stop skipping like 10 minutes. So you basically can see that, yeah, I was just doing the details but using the same logic that I already explained on the previous one. Right now on this moment I was just doing this kind of side view. So you can see that I also added the side view just to make sure that I was doing the thing on a more accurate way. So yeah, I spent my time over there just doing the stuff, and I faced like the same problems that I faced on the previous one, but yeah, this time I was able to fix the thing quicker because I already faced the problem previously. So yeah, after that what I did was to try to connect these vertices like I explained it on the previous part, because the idea is to make sure that the original version is connected to the mirrored one. So you need to just connect these parts and do all these adjustments. So anyway, let's advance. So I spend my time over here just fixing the problems. Anyway, just skipping because yeah, this is a more quote-unquote boring stuff, and we already covered this on the previous headphone model. So let's skip, and you can see that this was a recording of 5 hours. Anyway, skipping. So after that what I did was to start modeling this kind of microphone stuff. So yeah, I spent my time over there also modeling this, and with all in place, what I did was to move this to the desk and position on the point that I normally put it. So yep, we have the headphone placed over there. So I spent my time over there adjusting, but anyway, we have it placed. Okay, after that The remaining part was more about like applying the material. So I already show like what can I say, what I can, okay, let me, I already shared with you like on the recording the way that I used to apply the material, like when I was explaining the thing with the headphones. So basically over here I'm using like the same logic to do it. It's a matter of like selecting the object and then applying the materials anyway. But before that I needed to start modeling the bed sheet. So to do it, I just added a plane. I created cuts on the plane, as you can see, and after that I applied some modifications. So you can see over here that I went to this point, applied the collision on the bed, and I applied cloth on this plane. So cloth. So this way I'm literally making like this mesh became like a cloth, and when this mesh collides with this bed stuff, we have this kind of behave. So yeah, basically this is the idea, and I spent my time just refining it to make sure that it was going towards the way that I wanted. This wasn't the thing that I wanted, so yeah, I spent my time just making sure. Duolingo just notifying anyway, just making sure that the thing was working quote unquote well. So again, making adjustments to make sure that the thing was fitting the way that I wanted. So yeah, this was the final result. So yeah, I think that at this point I just started adding the materials. So to add the materials, at this moment I wasn't really thinking about, okay, I need to make this material different of that material because this has a different property. So on this point I was just, okay, I need to place the materials and I need to go to do this fast because I want to sleep, I want to do another stuff. So what I did was I just selected like the object that I wanted, and then I started placing the material. You can see that this is basically a flat color. So I placed the same material on all the things that are black on my setup. I just placed the same material, as you can see. So I will just keep because it's just placing the material like I explained it previously. Okay, anyway, skipping. Okay, after that I started placing different materials, I think, as you can see, on this kind of support, on the table, on the bed, on the bed sheet, on the data show. So yeah, it's basically using the same logic. I also placed the material here on this kind of books and on the walls. So yeah, you can see that I was basically placing materials, and I spent a good amount of time just adding materials here inside the motherboard. And I think that also made me spend a lot of time on the motherboard is because you can see that specific points of the motherboard has this kind of different colors. For example, we have parts on the motherboard that are red and other parts that are black. So I needed to like select a specific part, separate from the base mesh, and just paint that specific part, as you can see. So this part over here is the black stuff and the other part is the red stuff. So yeah, I had to do this by hand. And anyway, after that I was just like adding colors like material to the other stuff. It's basically a flat color. Okay, anyway, so let's skip. After that, what I did was I decided to create a material for the glass of the case. So I just added a plane. I went to the shading mode over here, and my idea was to create a shader. So yeah, it's basically a shader, like a texture. So basically what I did was I went to here on this shade properties mode, and I just hit new, and my idea was to delete this stuff and create my shader. So as you can see, I just deleted this, and the idea is to add a shader. What is add a shader? Add a shader and then go to this glass shader. So this way I'm able to create that kind of glass stuff and connect these to surface. So this way literally created a glass shader that works properly on inside the world. So let's advance a little bit so you can see the glass, and this way I already have the glass to put over there. So I just, you can see that on the render mode this works properly, this kind of glass stuff. So this really appears like a glass. Let's go. You can see that this appears like a glass. So anyway, after that I just was positioning the glass properly on the point. I spent my time over here just adjusting the stuff, doing all the things. Anyway, after that I went to the laptop itself, and I started like adding the material to the keys and also the laptop. So yeah, just keeping it because it's a straightforward situation. I was also doing another like a refinement because I saw issues that we had on the mesh, so I was just fixing it. But yeah, I would skip because this isn't important stuff related to the overview of the thing. So I was just there doing the things like cleaning the double faces, the double edge stuff. So yeah, I spent my time over there just correcting this. Anyway, let's skip. After that, what I did was I started adding the light sources. So as you can see, this is near to the final result that we have. So yeah, it's basically adding the light source. Yeah, you adding like different colors inside the case just to create that kind of RGB stuff. So yeah, I was just creating this kind of stuff. I spent my time over there just doing it. So what I was doing over here, I don't remember. Right now I was adding the wallpaper to the monitors, the Windows wallpaper. So yeah, I spent my time over here just adding this wallpaper, just changing the scale, positioning it properly and all the stuff. So let's keep this because it's a straightforward stuff. Okay, as you can see, just placing the wallpaper. So after placing the wallpaper, what I did next was to add the new light source just to create that kind of ambient light. As you can see, just to make like the monitor itself have like a light source. So after that, I realized that I had like more things to model. I started modeling this kind of chair. Again, it's just using like the cube to do the things and then adding the mirror modifier. So I will not explain this because yeah, it's just follow your reference and like just do a normal chair. So yeah, it's basically that. So I spent my time over there just doing the chair, and after that I moved the chair to the environment, and I also applied the material. So let's see the material, like yeah, basically flat colors, and I added this detail to the carpet, and what is a flat color also. After that, I went back to the render mode, and I was just adjusting the light sources. Okay, this moment I think I was trying to render an image, and I was okay. Yeah, the thing is working quote unquote well. So the last thing that I modeled was this pillow. So to model the pillow, I was using the same logic that I used to model the bed sheet. So to do that, what I did was I first subdivided this mesh by like 20 subdivisions. I extruded it upwards. I created a cut on the middle. I scaled it, and after that I went to the properties. I enabled the clothing stuff, and also I went downwards until I enabled pressure, and I also I went to gravity. What is gravity? I put gravity in 0. So with the clothing stuff, the gravity in 0, and also the pressure, I'm able to like work with this kind of pillow. And when you put play, you can see what happens. So this is our pillow. So yeah, with that I also added new details, applied subdivision surface modifier, and then I just moved this to the bed. So right now we already have our pillow, and I also applied the array modifier to create this kind of stuff. So yeah, basically on this point what I was doing was just to create the animation for the the render and stuff. I was rendering the image and also doing the animation. So let me show the image of this. Let's go. So yeah, this was basically the render stuff. So let me show the images. This is a recording. So anyway, so we have like the renders that I did. So this is the first render, the second one. Let me put this on full screen. Oh God. So yeah, basically you have the renders over here of that scenario, and again we also have this recording. Let's go to the previous one. Where is that recording? We have this recording over here that shows basically all of this environment. So yeah, as you can see, this is the content related to the part to this part, the 2.1, where the idea was to basically model a small scenario and apply the logic of the previous parts. So yeah, this is a more, again, like I explained it, this is a more surface level explanation. Cause where is that recording? I'm trying to find the correct recording. What isn't this one? I think is this one. So yeah, let me go to that recording. Anyway, what I was saying, even this being a surface level explanation, I think that is important basically so you to understand that this process of modeling all this stuff takes time. If you see, on average I was like modeling for like 5, 7, 8 hours per day, depending, but in a global average view I can say that I was modeling on 7 hours per day, because even with breaks I was doing 7 hours. And yeah, you can basically see that to achieve this kind of results, in on 1 week. You literally have to put a lot of time on this and put effort. And you can also see that I faced a lot of troubles during the process, because sometimes I wasn't really able to I wasn't really able to, what can I say, to do the thing like on the first try. I needed to literally like redo, delete. And if you are lazy, sometimes you like don't do the stuff because you are lazy, because you are creating excuses. So yeah, anyway, stop creating excuses. Just if you are doing a mistake, just go there and try to correct, because if you continue like doing the same mistake over and over and over, you will not improve. So again, take that in mind when you are doing your work, that the thing will not happen on like the first try. You need to try again and again and again and again, and also learn. That don't be afraid to go and learn from other artists, because sometimes you think that you already know all the things, but you know nothing. So you need to go there, learn from the artist, and improve your skills. So again, as you can see, you are seeing like the render that I did on this part. So this specific render, yeah, is awesome. Anyway, bro, this is awesome. Yo, yeah, seeing this after spending all the time to make it possible, yeah, is rewarding. Let me show to you this file. So let's open what is project 2.1. As you can see, I'm already working on the week 6 project, and I already did the week 5 project, but just now I'm having time to record the week 4 project. So yeah, it's hard to manage all this stuff because yeah, my routine is killing me. Like this kind of college stuff, doing the assignments and all the stuff, yeah, it's hard, but I'm making my possible to maintain the consistency and bring to you the best content. So anyway, let's go to the environment, and you can see that this is basically the thing that I was showing on the recording. And I will go to the material preview mode, so this way you will be able to see. I hope the recording is well, like not dropping FPS. I hope so. Okay, I think the recording is well. So yeah, this is basically the environment. Let me go to the render view. I will just put my camera over here, and yep, let's wait it to render. So yeah, it's basically this environment that we have on the last part of like the final result of this week works. So anyway, I hope literally this helped, even being what can I say, quote unquote surface level explanation. I hope somehow this helps you on your art journey, learning okay something with this. Again, if you want to have like the full explanation where I explain each individual topic one by one, you can go to my Patreon. Again, let me see where is my Patreon stuff. Where is Google Chrome? Patreon. Again, you can basically go to my Patreon, and you already have like this is the week 4 stuff is 3 days ago. We have like the week 4 stuff in Portuguese, and you will also have like this additional class content, like bonus content, and also the previous weeks here on Patreon, where I explain all the stuff in all the details. And I'm already uploading like the full recording of each week for example, here we already have the full recording of week 1. We will have the week 3 also, and the week 4 recording. The week 2 we don't have, because the week 2 was like a real-time class. So yeah, we will not have the week 2, but week 3 and week 4 we will have like the recording, like the full recording. You will have like the Portuguese version, the English version of the videos, like explaining each individual point, like this one. Look, so this is the English one, this is the Portuguese one, and you will also have the full recording versions of each class that is eligible to have like the full recording, like this one. So yeah, make sure to check out this, because this will help me a lot. Like, you would support me, and you will also have like this, all of these benefits. So if you just pay for one subscription, you'll have access to all the content. And we also have like the classroom docs, where you will have access to the docs, like my Clip Studio files, the Blender files, PDFs, materials, bro, all the stuff. So yeah, make sure to go there and give a chance if you want. And again, I want to emphasize this again, like I already explained. Go and also learn from this channel, because a lot of stuff that I explained over here was based on this guy content. So go there on the guy's channel and also see the content by yourself. I will leave the link of the guy's channel on the description. So yeah, go there and just learn by yourself. Yeah, Blender is interesting. So yeah, anyway, I think that I already talked a lot. Again, more detailed stuff, go to my Patreon. This YouTube version is just an overview of the things that I was covering, but as you can see, even being an overview, I want literally to explain what I was doing. This video is like almost 4 hours long, but yeah, it's necessary to make sure that yeah, you will get something of these things that I'm doing. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching this video until now. I really hope it helped. Anyway, if I helped you, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, so you'll be updated and notified of new videos related to this content. And if you want to support me, you can consider going to my Patreon. And if you play Fortnite or any game on the Epic Game Store, consider using my creator code tag Eneas 23. It's not 23 anyway, Eneas 23. So this will help me a lot. So yeah, thank you for watching the video until this point, and I hope to see you on the next one. So yeah, bye bye, thank you, until then.